Respectfully, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know.
Hope your Thursday's been beautiful. Hopefully you're staying hydrated. Keep those electrolytes up. Check. And be careful when you're working out today. I'll tell you this. Earlier, I was on the phone with Sedano for 45 minutes while the guy was working out. Remember back at the pickleball event where he was on the mic and playing pickleball at the same time? I think you won a Mandy for that performance, right? Most athletic moment. Meanwhile, literally doing 120 push-ups while talking to me about the Mason and Ireland show. I mean, outstanding performance there. Sedano. Also, thanks to all the great Circle of Trust listeners and fans that came on out to Danny K Sports Bar last night for our Michelob Ultra watch party. A beautiful night. Shooting pool and plugging in Comrexes to the dartboard.
I said, what's the deal on this dartboard? He said, what do you mean? I said, why does it have an Ethernet connection?
Also, where's the football music?
Professional football in America is a special game.
That's right. Today, we're talking a lot of football, Jack. So get ready for that. Let's get to it.
You were going to chalk his cue. I thought you were going to chalk my cue.
The LA Afternoon Drive Takeover. Sedano and Kap.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year. Ha ha!
Yeah.
It's Thursday afternoon right now.
Yeah.
Bing, ba-da-boom. Do, da-da-bop. Bing, ba-da-boom. Do, ba-da-bop. Biddy-boom-bop.
Hey, quick question for everybody.
Sure.
Anybody talk to the big CY?
Not today, no.
Anybody talk to the president of the Handsome Man community?
I actually just did maybe 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Why? What happened?
Well, George, let's talk about this because this could turn into a controversy.
Uh-oh.
So, Georgie, glad to have you here today. Love you, buddy.
Yeah.
And looking forward to having you here tomorrow, too, right?
Right.
And then Saturday at Rams training camp, too, right?
Yep.
But didn't you originally have some plans to maybe have some time off right around this time?
Yeah, this week.
This week is a matter
And
of
then
fact.
I canceled that back on, I will tell you if you give me one moment.
Absolutely. Please do. This is an important detail for the court of public opinion who's going to have to hear this out because there will be somebody to be blamed today.
Yeah, I canceled it 10 days ago.
10 days ago today.
And I called everyone that I spoke and emailed everyone that needed to be emailed.
Okay. Now, I get a text message from one Big CY himself, the president of the local chapter of the Handsome Man community, Television's Clinton Yates.
Yeah.
I received a text message from Clinton.
Asking what you wanted to talk about on the show today?
He said, hey, who's producing today? Because I haven't heard anything. What's going on? What's the deal? And I said, well, gee, Big CY, as far as I know, Georgie's in the house today. And he goes, oh, because I have it scheduled that I'm hosting the show today, and George is on vacation. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, okay, so what about tomorrow? And I'm trying to put it mildly. Like, I mean, I know the answer is George is here tomorrow. But I'm like, gee, Big CY, that's a good question. I don't really know for sure. So now I feel like somebody did not communicate properly to the president of the local chapter of the Handsome Man community.
Clearly, that was the case. Now, do you want me to bring you behind the curtain even further today?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Now, I had to change it because as I told you, remember, I had a situation with my mom. We had to change the dates or whatever, and that's when we were dealing with some stuff 10 days ago, right?
Right.
So 10 days ago, I made the decision. I'm going to cancel this thing, and I had told Greg and Lindsay the day before, hey, so 11 days ago, hey, this is going to be the change. I'm going to make the change tomorrow. I'm going to put it in writing tomorrow. So there's an email on July 17th that says all this. Mm-hmm. Well, today I made sure to call Greg this morning because I wanted to, because one of the days I was going to be off that I switched out for, August 11th, was a day TV wanted me. So I said, hey, you know what? Instead of taking that day off, I'm already going to be in the other building. I might as well work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, no problem, whatever. And then he's like, oh, wow, I don't have you off for any of your days in August. I go, even the ones I put in for several months ago? And he's like, yeah. So there was definitely some mishaps on the scheduling portion of this.
Okay, so now, Funchy, we come over to you now because it sounds to me...
Right, because CY called you.
Right.
Yeah, CY called me, texted me, said, hey, one, I thought I was in for Sedano today and tomorrow. No problem if not, but is he there on Friday, tomorrow, basically?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what did you have to do? Did you have to let him
I
down?
just said, hey, he's in. I'm guessing it could be next week because I see that Sedano's out next week.
Yeah, and I'm out next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, I don't check the schedule.
Right. No,
Okay.
next week I am out only Friday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I let CY know, like, maybe it could be next Friday.
All right,
Yeah.
because I just want to say, I want everybody to know, I never check the schedule. I mean, all I do is show up every day and be ready to go. I don't know when we're off at 6:30 for Angels baseball or when we're off
I don't
at
either
7 o'clock,
anymore. I
ever.
used to because look, there is like an updated. This is way behind.
Yeah, there's
It's okay. Believe me when I tell you. Believe it or not, the Circle of Trust is interested in this stuff. I talked to George, a lot of intimate interview time last night with Circle of Trust members, old schoolers, new schoolers, people who just recently got pinned and welcomed
Schoolers.
in. What did you say?
just schoolers.
Just old schoolers, new schoolers, and just schoolers. All right.
Right. So Greg used to send out many moons ago, like every month ahead of time, he would send out the schedule, right? Like, but now it's just like a link. So you have to just keep going back to this one email to have like a link that explains everything. So there's a link that tells us when Angels baseball is. There's a link that tells us when we're a full show or not a full show.
Great
But you
to
have
hear
to
you.
go back to that one. Now, I have it pinned
So do I.
and flagged on my email so I can continue to go back to it. But there used to be, as Greg walks into the studio now, there used to be a monthly email that would get sent out with the updates.
We have changed it over to a Google Doc or Google Sheets, and that is just a much simpler way where you can just click on the link, and there's everything every month. And I do a good job, I think, Laura, of putting it in at least a month in advance.
You do, but here's my only critique because it has gotten better.
Critiques. Okay.
Can we like eliminate last year's stuff? Because then we've
Well,
had it. Where
I have to go
oh,
back and look at it every once in a while, so it just needs to be there. I mean, I can try and
There's like
figure
a
out.
way to freeze the panel where it just goes to the next month.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, I'll
so if you
better.
know how to do that, I'm happy to listen.
Because I'm just like, oh man, it's.
I
so
am
many
working
years.
with Lindsay is helping me, and she's going to start doing a lot of the scheduling. This is all very inside that I'm sure
That's
everybody
okay.
loves to hear.
They do, because
Yeah.
as I was telling George, I spent a lot of time last night with the Circle of Trust at Danny K's, and they were telling me we like the inside baseball stuff. They do.
Great. Well, I mean, Sedano did call me today, and I was like, oh, shoot, I didn't have it on there today.
So wait, so
it was
you
not
did
there.
you did not tell the Big CY,
Well,
Television's Clinton Yates, the president of the local chapter of the Handsome Man community.
This was
alert him.
changed. This week was changed a few weeks ago, and
Right.
it was immediately put on the schedule that Sedano was here.
There was
Right,
an
but-
email.
Yeah.
So,
That
yep,
you
that
think
was
that
all.
Clinton checks
That was
that?
on the schedule.
Right,
that was
but it was not conveyed. Somehow or another, it slipped through the cracks. Someone didn't tell Clinton.
right.
Wait, are you supposed
Whoever
to
that
tell
went.
Because
Clinton,
I
or do
think
you
Beto
rely
was
on
supposed to be
Clinton?
the first few days, and then Clinton was the second 2 days.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So
But do you
whoever.
rely on them, Greg? Do you rely on them to say, "Hey, I assume they're checking the schedule"? Or
No,
do you feel like we need to communicate?
Somebody has to tell them.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it's like if it's Mason in Ireland and I have to change something, I will call Ramona and say, "Hey, you're not. We don't need you today. Thank you
so
very
who are-
much, but
who
we're
are
going
we
to go.
blaming then?
Well, this
Mason's
also
here.
this also has Lindsay is not here.
Right, she's on vacation.
So that
can't
also,
blame her.
So that's also a
I'm
challenge.
not blaming anybody.
That's also a challenge too. Like this is how, unfortunately, sometimes things fall through the cracks. Was Clinton upset?
Yeah, he's pretty pissed actually. Why
he
don't we
texted
just,
me too, and he
Why
just
don't we
was like,
blame
"Hey,
Lindsay?
so what's
She's
happening?"
not here. Screw it. Let's just blame her.
No one needs. There needs to be no blame. No blame needs to happen. It
No,
just
I mean,
was
if she was
something.
here,
Now
I
you
would
want the
blame her.
wrath of this Hungarian heat when
I
she
know.
comes
Well, no,
back in a couple
no.
days.
Can we not?
What I'm saying is that if she were there, I'd try and blame Greg exclusively just to blame somebody because you got to play the blame game. But Greg,
Yes.
too much love for you, my brother, and since Lindsay's not here and I don't have to face the Hungarian heat, I just say we blame her.
Right, but you know this is going to get back to her.
Of course.
Yeah, but I can make a legitimate case that 10 days ago when you sent the email, George, and Lindsay, knowing that she was getting ready to go on vacation, could have communicated to the Big CY. Now, I'm not saying she had to. I'm just saying that I'm looking to blame somebody and she's not around, so
Okay.
it's just easier.
Right.
We on YouTube.
And you don't want to blame Greg.
Not me.
Right, I don't blame Greg. I love Greg.
You, Greg's face.
I mean, I love Lindsay too, but she's not around. That's what I'm saying, so I don't have to deal with it.
Right, and if Lindsay was here, she'd go, how dare Greg not do
Right,
this?
you'd blame.
Right.
Who would you blame if Lindsay was here?
Yeah, no, I'd say this is Bergie's fault because
Oh wait,
he's the head
Clinton
coach.
is on the phone actually right now.
Oh.
So Clinton at Big CY, have you been listening to all of this? How it fell through the cracks after I sent out an email 10 days ago that I was not going to be off today.
No, I did not. I was not listening. I jumped in the shower real quick because I'm going to go to the beach now that I have, 3 hours of my time.
Go for it.
You don't turn us on the app in
Good
the shower?
information.
What the hell?
So let me explain how it happened on my end. So I got an email probably 2 or 3 weeks ago from Linz, and she was like, "Can you fill in these 2 days and the other Friday or whatever day it was last week, whatever, that I was there?" And I said, "Well, I can't do these 2 days because initially I was supposed to be going to my buddy's wedding this weekend. I decided not to go. It's in the Ozarks. I just felt like it was too much of a move. So I said initially I can do that first date, but I can't do these 2 days. And then maybe 2 weeks ago or maybe even last week, I said I can do these 2 days. And I heard great. And then today I'm like, all right, planning my day,
Right.
Whatever. I get no texts, no emails. And I'm
Quiet.
like, all right, well,
Yeah.
maybe something's going on. And so I hit up Cappy and I was like, by the way, my guy, are we doing a show today?
Did he say my guy? Did he actually say
I
my guy
love
in the
being
text?
called my guy. I love that.
Sedano is here. And so that was what happened. I'm not mad at anybody. I just got a couple afternoons back. That's all.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
No, wait, listen.
No,
what are you doing?
it's okay.
What are you doing tomorrow?
These things happen, and I'm glad to know that our communication chain as a family is so great that if I'd gotten in an Uber and gone down to the studio, I would have just been downtown for no reason. But luckily,
Well,
I
you
didn't
could have
do
just
that.
sat in on the show.
There's that too. But there's time is money, and so on and so forth. But so that's where that went. Who are you guys blaming? Since I know you guys love the blame game.
Well, Cappy already blamed Lindsay because she's not here.
Okay.
I said if
But
she were
but
there.
ultimately, it's me.
No, I said if Lindsay were here and I had to deal with her, then I wouldn't blame her because I don't want to deal with the Hungarian heat wrath. But she's out of town and she's enjoying her vacation, so we might as well blame her. Otherwise, though, the head coach really it's his team. He got to take the blame.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how we run our program, Greg. So, we got to tighten this up.
And
coaches.
see why we did Blue Review today. If I would have known that you were supposed to come in, I would have said something then.
Oh, now you're blaming CY.
Yeah, he didn't tell me. So now it's CY's
Wow,
fault.
look how I flipped that on you.
Interesting. Love trying.
If you'd be like, "Oh, hey, guess what? I'm down here for Sedano Kap," I'd be like, "I don't
Look how he
think so."
flipped that on you, Clinton.
This is what
Good
Greg
job,
does.
Bertie.
Unbelievable.
I thought that was a pretty strong flip.
Unbelievable reverse.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, have a good show.
Well, enjoy the
I'll
beach.
send you on the beach.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you
enjoy the
tomorrow,
beach.
CY.
Yeah, see ya. Take care.
Big CY to you.
There he is. There he is.
Flip the script.
Yeah, he flipped the script.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Cappy. Coming up next, we won't talk about scheduling anymore.
Thank you.
But you were excited because most of the topics, I would say 75% of the topics I sent today are,
Football.
and you said in our text, we're talking football, Jack.
We're talking some football.
And we are. We're going to talk some football next, Jack. Our window's closing in San Francisco. Uh-oh. We'll get to that next. But first, Cappy, tell them about our friends at Coors.
Oh, it'd be my absolute pleasure to tell everybody about Coors. So, as I always like to tell you, today being Thursday, you're going to get out this weekend. You're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to be hitting the outdoors. And, dude, at some point in your life this weekend, you are going to see a plane fly over your head, and it's going to have that Coors Light sign, and it's going to remind you that Coors Light is the official beer of summer. Now, listen, we've got a bunch of stuff happening in August. People are hitting me up. They're direct messaging me on Instagram. They're going, yo, bro, what's the story? Story is coming. But we got a lot of things happening with the Angels and Coors Light in the month of August, so stay tuned. But for now, go to that website, keepingchachill.com. Keepingchachill.com. Use the keyword Angels, and you're going to start to win some of those Coors Light Angels merch goodies. You're going to love it. Hey, it's summertime. That means it's Coors Light time.
Don't
tequila. A lot of tequila, right, Cappy? And on this day, back in 1979, AC/DC released the song Highway to Hell. Sedano and Cap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Highway to hell. You know what? I didn't know it was National Scotch Day. I'd partake a little later today.
What's like a popular Scotch brand?
What kind of Scotch do you like? Do you
Well,
like?
that's the thing is I don't really know anything about Scotch.
Oh, okay.
What's the black
I mean,
label, blue
I guess,
label?
yeah,
What's that?
right. Johnny Walker's fairly popular if you like blended Scotch. I'm more of a single malt Scotch guy, so I like me a little like Macallan, particularly.
Glenlivet?
Glenlivet is actually kind of my go-to if I'm like not because Macallan is kind of like hard. So like if I want a light single malt Scotch, I'll go Glenlivet 12 on the rocks. It's perfect. It's easy. Yeah.
So I was, it was a few weeks ago when I had a couple days, and I mentioned had been out in the desert. House I was staying at had this Johnny Walker Black and Johnny Walker Blue. Is blue better than black or something?
Blue is better than black. Well, blue is, it's better, more expensive,
top,
however
right?
you want to look at it.
And at that point, I had been going through a Succession binge. You know, and Succession is one
They
of those
drink a
shows-
lot of Scotch.
Right, like where, you pull into every room,
Yeah.
and every room has like a bar on wheels.
Yeah.
And the alcohol, the liquor is actually poured into a separate bottle. You don't even know what brand it is or whatever.
Right. It's got like a little, like almost like a decanter sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a crystallized kind of. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
So they were drinking a lot of Scotch. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try and drink Scotch while I'm here because it's there on the bar. And I never had a sip of it. And I really wanted to try it because, I don't know, I feel like Scotch is something you drink when it's late and it's dark.
Yeah, I would say so. Or like with like a dinner, like a good single malt Scotch with like at a steakhouse. That's like good stuff too. You know.
No, I don't. I got to get into. I'm not into Scotch at all.
On the rocks or
See,
neat?
I was. Well, I prefer like a big rock. You know what I mean? Like
Sphere or something?
Yeah, you're like a
Big
cube.
cube.
It doesn't matter, but just one is fine. You know what I mean? It takes its
You like
time
the
to
square
melt.
or the ball? I like the ball looking thing.
Either one is fine. But I would just say I was definitely into Scotch for, that was like my original liquor of choice, like Scotch and whiskey.
Yeah, I've never gotten into
So
it.
then I've then gone off to try some of the Japanese whiskeys. Like there's just a lot of different variations. And then look, they're all kind of related in some way. Bourbon, right, is like a cousin, you know what I mean? Like I had bourbon on National Bourbon Day, like
about
it's
that? You
so yeah,
celebrated.
I love anything I can sip. That's kind of my thing about alcohol.
Let me make a statement here that's going to probably upset a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
Before
maybe
we get to football, Jack?
Yeah, maybe offend a few people as well.
Yeah.
Just going back to AC/DC. When I was a kid in the 80s, and I loved AC/DC. I had it all on vinyl. I rocked out to all of it, and I can still rock out to it, no problem. However, I must say something. I've seen AC/DC in concert. It's a terrible concert.
It is, really.
I mean, horrible. It is so bad. I swear to you, I've never done this ever. I've never walked out on a movie. I've never walked out on a comedian. I walked out on AC/DC.
Wow. When was this?
It was so bad. Like, the guy who's the lead singer, I don't remember his name, the guy who screams like crazy and wears that cool hat and he's kind of ripped.
Yeah.
That guy's going nuts. He's doing his thing. And then, like, Angus, he's, like, got his guitar and he's free to move around the stage.
Brian Johnson.
Yeah, everybody else is a robot. The whole concert's one big robotic nothing. Like, there's no personality. There's no stage presence. Just a bunch of screaming and one guy in shorts jumping around on stage. I just didn't find it entertaining. And I loved AC/DC.
Yeah.
Sorry, AC/DC fans.
Yeah. They seem fine when I listen to them in the car or in this scenario, right? But, like, I'm not a huge AC/DC guy. Like, there's a couple of songs like that one, Highway to Hell, Thunderstruck, right? Like, I think there's a couple of songs that
Back in Black, dude.
Yeah, right. There's like 3, 4, 5 songs that I really like, and then after that, it's like I'm good.
I left the concert.
Yeah, wow. I've only left a movie once. It was the prequel to The Exorcist that came out probably like 20 years ago.
It's the prequel?
Yeah, it was a
Not
prequel.
the sequel.
No, it was a prequel.
Okay.
And it was so bad, so bad. Like I remember, I went on a date with like a girl that I actually had known for a long time. We just decided to like go out on a couple dates, and we
How'd that go?
It was fine. Actually, it was fine because we dated for a little bit, a very short amount of time. It was just like, nah, this doesn't work.
You guys didn't like each other, huh?
Well, not like that. Like, not like, it just the personalities
better
were
with
not
friends.
compatible, is
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
would say.
Other parts compatible? I mean, she'd take you for a test drive or what?
That
There
part,
you go.
that was not the issue. Those weren't issues.
Oh, that
back
was
then.
fine. That was easy.
Well,
that
that's
was
always
good.
the easy part of any relationship, wouldn't you say?
No, not really.
Not for him.
Not really.
Apparently not for you.
I mean, really?
I would
that's the
say
easy
that.
part?
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
If we're going to be honest here,
Okay, let's be honest.
like, it's got to be, you got to be pretty bad to screw that up. See what I did there?
That's true.
You see what I did there, though?
I saw it, but I don't agree.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, that part is hard to really get wrong.
Listen, not all pizza's great pizza, pal.
I get that. But I would say that it's still pizza.
Yeah, no, I like pizza. I like all kinds of pizza.
Right.
I like
so
all different kinds
for
of
it
variations.
to be bad, it's got to be all like terrible.
Yeah,
so
but sometimes you're just not compatible that way. That's all.
I guess. But what I would say is personality, there were quirks in the personality that just
Hers or yours?
both that
Oh.
just suited better for us at that time to just remain friends, and we did. We remained friends.
Uh-huh. Still
I haven't
friends?
seen her. No, I haven't seen her in a very long time.
Gotcha.
And also, her like sister and I went to we're friends because we went to school together. Like there was a lot of that stuff, and it was like this
was a
probably
lot of
it's not-
entanglements.
Wow.
It's not worth it. You know
you
what I
went
mean?
through both sisters, huh, George? How about you?
No, I did not. No,
What a
no,
stud.
no,
What a
no,
superstar.
No, the sister that I went to.
What a stud.
No,
I thought that too, though, Cappy.
the
No,
switch.
no.
No,
switch.
No.
He got both of them.
The sister was dating a friend of mine from school, one of my friends.
Took them both down.
No. So it just there's just a lot there, right? Like you get involved in a relationship. It's probably actually longer than 20 years ago now, and you're just like, if this goes south, it's just going to ruin a lot of relationships.
Yeah, it makes
so
sense.
let's just pull the ripcord on this now. And we were both like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. So anyway,
All right, so we've talked Scotch, AC/DC, and the two sisters that you were together with.
no, I was not together with two sisters.
Okay, but now you wanted to talk football. Is that right?
Yes, well, I walked out of the prequel of The Exorcist. Was the whole point of that conversation. But anyway, let's talk football, Jack.
What a day today is. Isn't it funny? And I say funny, like there's no games going on yet. Like the Hall of Fame game gets played next week.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a really, really interesting story, even though it won't be an interesting story because it's a preseason game, and it won't be an interesting game because the big stars won't play. But Aaron Rodgers with Nathaniel Hackett and all the controversy surrounding Nathaniel Hackett today. And then on the other side, my guy Alex Van Pelt, who was the coordinator in Green Bay, and then the whole Mike McCarthy thing got fired because of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's a lot of weird storylines there. But my point to you, George, is we're not even talking about games. Today's drama. You see what's going on around training camps?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Joe Burrow looks like it's a calf injury, according to Adam Schefter. Jalen Ramsey looks like he's going to have knee surgery.
Right.
Yeah, not good.
Did you see the Burrow play by chance?
I did not. No.
So Burrow is, they're in training camp.
Yeah.
So guys are playing football, right? They're wearing helmets and shoulder pads. Burrow's back in the pocket. He starts to move to his left.
Drop backs flushed out of the pocket to his left, or
Right.
or is
back.
he rolling?
No. Drops back, flushed out of the pocket to his
Flushed
left.
out to the left again. So throwing against his body.
Right. Steps up in the pocket, George.
Right. As he's rolling left,
Well, he has to stop,
look,
and
and then steps up.
then steps into the pocket.
So
But
how
then
is he in the pocket if he rolled left?
He backed up 7 steps.
Right.
He then moved to his left because he was flushed.
Okay.
He then stopped.
I see. So he kind of like sidestepped
Right.
a defender, then stepped up into the pocket.
Stepped up in, but realized he ain't got nowhere to go. So now he makes a lateral move to the right.
Back to the right.
Now he's at full speed. He's going to run with the football.
So now he's taking off.
Right. And now, just like that, boom. Just like me running towards first base in the softball game when my hamstring
fell on
pulled
the
up.
floor, died.
Just his calf just snapped on him, it seemed like. And the thing is that if you watch the video,
Yeah.
you'll see, I want to say it's his left leg,
Yeah.
and he's wearing a sleeve on that calf,
Yeah.
but he's not wearing a sleeve on the other calf.
Okay.
So it makes me wonder, did he have some sort of like a strain or something nagging,
Yeah.
which just got aggravated?
Right. Perhaps. I mean, but it could have been worse. I mean, it might have gotten worse, is what I meant to say.
Yeah. So, we talked the other day about, how quarterbacks are being ranked going into the season.
Yeah.
And Mahomes is everybody's number one.
Yeah, and Burrow's
seems
usually
to be-
like number 2.
Right. I mean, this is one of the biggest stars in the game,
Yeah.
and we're a week into training camp, and my man, I don't know how bad it is.
I mean, it didn't look good.
But I'll tell you that.
I'm looking at it now.
You talk about bad timing, George, right? Think about this.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert just
Oh,
got
right.
his contract.
He was supposed to get paid, right.
Right. Justin Herbert just got
I mean,
his contract.
it could be a small thing.
Let's say it's nothing, no big deal. But let's say it's something, then they say this about Joe Burrow.
He's
got an
injury
injury
prone.
history.
Yeah.
First it was his knee, now it's his calf.
But I bet you he'll still make $40 million.
Well, he should. I mean, Daniel Jones is.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But, man, that's some bad timing. I hope he's okay, man. I really like Joe Burrow. I like him as a player. I like him as a character.
Yeah.
I like that kid.
We didn't do the thing I wanted to do, though, about windows closing in San Francisco.
Oh, might be.
Yeah. We can
My
do that
bad,
in the
y'all.
next segment, though.
My bad, y'all.
Yeah. If you want.
I do.
Okay.
You think that's the case?
I don't know. I don't know their cap situation, but George Kittle would know more, and he's the one that was talking about it, so we'll hear about that next. And Kyle Shanahan, I almost said Mike Shanahan, is wondering, hey, why can't Sam Darnold have something in common with Steve Young?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Wonder what that's about. We'll tell you what that's about in a second. But first, let me ask you, Cappy. If you're injured in an auto accident, should you hire some attorney that, prepared your will and trust last year?
Why would you do that?
No, of course not. You call Jacob if you get into an accident. At 844-24-JACOB, you have to hire an expert in the field. So if you're injured in an auto accident of any kind, you call Jacob. Call my guy, 844-24-JACOB. Since the 1990s, Jacob has handled all types of vehicle accidents. Car, truck, motorcycle, rideshare, scooter, you name it. Jacob has handled them all. And Jacob and his team won't settle for some lowball offer from the insurance company. Plus, with Jacob, you never pay a penny out of pocket. So your car gets fixed, and you see the medical specialist to help you get back on track, and you're good to go. So, guys, a lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. You call Jacob, he'll win for you. So call him at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. 844-24-JACOB. Or visit him online at calljacob.com.
Travis.
So Al and I are teaming up for your chance to win an entire office full of lunch from Waba Grill. So you're going to want to be listening all day during the 12 o'clock lunch hour for your cue to call to pick up food for the entire office, courtesy of Waba Grill.
We got some ribeye, we got some chicken, we got some shrimp.
I'm making it sound like I cook them myself. Look at these boom boom tacos.
You can visit wabagrill.com. You can order online. Just go on in, get yourself some of these tacos. Visit your local Waba Grill location. Of course, walk right in. Of course, you can order online for delivery or pickup. Waba Grill, right? Eat smart, be healthy. Boom boom, kaboom.
Wraps, just use chili with no beans, not as bad. Put a nice hot dog in there, bam! Plus you get all the accoutrement. Meanwhile, on this day in 1984, the movie Purple Rain premiered in theaters. With one of the greatest title track soundtracks ever. Sedano Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Purple rain.
Oh, yeah.
Purple rain. Purple rain.
Ah! Come on, right here. Only want to see you dancing in the purple rain.
a good song, man.
R.I.P.
It really is wild that he's not around. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Cray.
It's brutal. So, Cappy.
Yeah, hey, point of information, Joe Burrow right leg, it looked like.
Oh, okay.
Just went back and looked again. Accuracy, George, very important.
Of course. So, George Kittle was asked about the Niners window.
Mm-hmm.
And, look, we talked about them the other day, and we've talked about them a lot, actually, about how, if you look at their roster, sans the quarterback, you can make the case they have the best roster in football. Right? Is that fair to say?
I think we could all have a discussion about their roster and everybody else's, and we might find that they have one of the better rosters on paper around the league.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes, I'm not like totally consumed with their roster.
Yeah,
I think they're good, and they've been good, but they haven't been great yet. So
right, because the quarterback play has not been
right.
what
But
they
on the
needed
other
to
hand, everybody says, "Well, Kyle Shanahan's such a brilliant coach that it doesn't matter who his quarterback is."
Well, yes and no. It does. What I would say is he is a really good quarterback coach.
I would think so.
Because
he just hasn't had a star.
He won 7 straight games with Brock Purdy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So now maybe Brock Purdy turns into Tom Brady. Who knows? You know what I mean? But
if he doesn't, that gives you an idea of how impressive of a coaching job it was.
Correct.
Or how good their roster is.
Well, and by the way, even if he does, Tom Brady was also not good at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just think they haven't had elite quarterback play in his tenure, that's for sure.
No, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, as I recall, had preceded him there.
Right. He's all right.
And he's a fine enough, middle-of-the-road starting quarterback who, by the way, career record-wise, he's won a bunch of games.
Yeah.
He's played in a Super Bowl.
Right. He's played on good teams.
Yeah. He's probably 2 or 3 inches away, truth be told, from possibly being a Super Bowl champion quarterback.
Right.
Just one overthrow away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so as far as the window closing, though.
So he was asked, Kittle was, and he says, quote, "I think that's something our team is very aware of, about the window being smaller than it is. That our window could be closing." Because, look, if we look at sports in general, right? Forget about football for a second. Any sport. You always think, fans always think their window is larger than it really is. And I think teams have acknowledged that as well over the last decade or two, right? Where, man, if you would have told me when Shaq and Kobe lost to the Pistons in 2004, if you would have told me, now granted there was obviously, some issues between the two and even Shaq and the team or whatever, but if you would have told me, yeah, they're staying together, yeah, I probably would have said, they're going to win, couple more probably, at least one more, But you just never know what's going to happen, right? Whether it's injury gets in the way or in that particular case, right? Like those two split up. A lot of things tend to happen. So your window is never as big as you think it is. You always have to think that this thing is going to be smaller than what you anticipate.
Remember when Joe Burrow was asked, "Hey, so what's your window for winning a championship?" You recall his answer?
I don't remember at the moment, but I do remember him being asked this question.
His answer was, "Our window is as long as I play."
Yes and no.
But the point is that, and then on a day like today, where you're like 4 days into training camp, you come pulling up with a calf problem, and we, at this point, don't know how serious it is and how it might impact his season. So injuries are everything. And when you're the 49ers, I think if you're Kittle and you're talking about their window, Kittle's been around a while. They do have a new quarterback, essentially.
Yeah, and as he said, they have a lot of highly paid players on the team who have earned money, and you can only pay so many guys.
Right, and you look at guys like McCaffrey, who's had his fair share of injuries along the way. You look at a guy like Deebo Samuel, who didn't really want to be a running back. He may have been smarter than all these guys. Hey, I want to be a receiver, and I don't want to get my body all beat up, and I want to be able to make receiver money, not running back money. Deebo Samuel may have outsmarted all these running back guys. But the point is that everybody's a year older. Everybody's got more miles on the tires and every other cliche you might choose to use. Fact is, George, the 49ers have been really good for the last 4 or 5 years. They lost in the conference championship a year ago. They lost in the conference championship a year earlier. They lost the Super Bowl in 2019. So in the last 4 years, other than 2020 where they were 6-10, they've been a championship contender.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't been able to do it yet.
No. And it's because of that. It's because of the quarterback situation. And now, to Kittle's point, the clock is ticking. Now, the other story that I found fascinating was this Mike Shanahan thing, where Kyle Shanahan.
I was like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about the old school Denver Broncos?
Yeah, no.
Okay, I know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically, I'll just summarize it for you, right? He basically was asked about Sam Darnold, former, one of the top picks in the draft, right? And he said, hey, people here have seen a guy go through that, Steve Young. And he says, why can't Sam Darnold be like Steve Young?
Yeah, why? Why can't he be?
Basically saying that, Steve Young, remember, went to Tampa, Tampa back then. I don't think people realize, young people don't realize how bad Tampa was back then.
Yep.
It was.
They were the ultimate laughing stock of the NFL.
Of sports,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. It wasn't even a debate. They were the laughing stock is exactly the way to do it. Mm-hmm. So then he comes to the Niners. He sits behind Montana for a little bit, and then
Where's the USFL and all that? Did he start in the USFL? I think he did. I think Steve Young.
Let me see.
BYU, right? And then I feel like he may have played for the Tampa USFL team.
He did, the Tampa Bandits, I believe.
Okay, Tampa Bay Bandits, right? Mm-hmm. And that may have turned into him leaving the USFL like so many other guys had done, like Jim Kelly and Herschel Walker. For those of you that
no.
know
It was actually, you're thinking Jim Kelly, who played for the Tampa Bay Bandits. Steve Young played for the L.A. team.
Oh, L.A. for the L.A. Express.
The L.A. Express.
Yeah, right. L.A. Express, right.
Right.
Okay, very good.
So he was L.A. Express first.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Because he was the first pick in the supplemental draft. Remember when they used to have a supplemental draft?
The NFL supplemental draft?
Yeah.
He was the first pick in that?
Yeah.
To Tampa. Or no, to who? To
Tampa.
Steve Young.
Those were his rights, were to Tampa. That's why he ended up going to Tampa afterwards.
Oh, I thought you said that Jim Kelly went to Tampa and that Steve Young went to LA.
No. He was drafted in the NFL supplemental draft by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There we go. Thank you.
Jim Kelly played for the USFL Tampa team.
I got confused.
Steve Young played for the LA USFL team.
Okay.
So he was like, hell no, I ain't going to Tampa. He probably didn't say it like that.
He probably did.
You think?
Oh, for sure. Steve Young's cool. Hell nah.
Yeah.
I ain't going to Tampa.
Probably not, is my
No.
guess.
He was like, geez, no, that doesn't sound good to me. I'm going to stay here in L.A. and continue on with the L.A. Express.
So he, he went to the USFL. It flopped. Obviously, he goes to Tampa. It's a disaster for a couple years. And then after a couple years, he goes to the Niners. And he sits behind Montana for a little bit. But then he gets his chance. And he just, he goes off. He goes nuts. Now, he sat for a while. Now, I know Joe missed a year here or there because of injury or whatever. But he mostly sat for a while.
I really don't recall how long it was that Young was Montana's backup. But
From 87 to 90.
What I do remember, though, is when Young played and he balled out, it made Niner fans and the Niners organization think, you know what? Maybe it's time to move on from Joe Montana. And even a legend like Montana, who at that point, George, check me on this, I think he had won 4 Super Bowls with the Niners. Somebody can do
Correct.
the research.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they were ready to get rid of Montana or move on from Montana because Young had shown everybody what he was going to be all about.
Mm-hmm.
But once they let Montana go, Montana had some success in Kansas City, a little bit, but Steve Young was then compared to everything that Montana had done.
Right. And then, so Montana got hurt. Just a little history lesson. 1990 NFC Championship game
Okay.
against the Giants.
All right.
busted his elbow.
Was Lawrence Taylor getting him?
I don't remember.
Leonard Marshall. I mean,
one of those guys.
Yeah,
one of those guys hit him.
It's only
and then so the year after he had to recover from elbow surgery or injury or whatever, and Young played most of the season the next year.
Yeah, balled out.
Right, and then that's when Montana ended up leaving to the Kansas City Chiefs after that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So why can't Sam Darnold, the former USC star, kid from here in Southern California,
right,
a kid who was a top
San
overall
Clemente.
pick,
Yeah.
Why can't Sam Darnold, who's still probably in his mid to late 20s, I'm guessing like 26, 27, yeah, why can't a Sam Darnold, who got caught up in two bad franchises at two bad times?
Right, the Jets for sure, a complete unmitigated disaster.
Right.
And then Carolina in a rebuilding phase.
Right, so why can't Sam Darnold, with a good coach and someone who instills some confidence back into that kid, why can't he get his NFL career back on track if given the opportunity?
Right.
But I don't know is he really getting the opportunity in San Francisco? Is it an open competition between Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold and Trey Lance?
Yeah.
Or is Brock Purdy returning as the quote-unquote incumbent starting quarterback?
I think they're all going to compete, but
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think
I'm
they're
not
all going
married
to
to Brock
compete.
Purdy.
But I mean, I guess Brock has the edge at the moment because he's been there longer than anyone else, and and is more, I guess, more refined passer at this point.
Well, I mean, he deserves the top chance based on what he did last year.
Yeah, but the Sam Darnold thing to me, if he'd always to me, if he just cut back, and this was an issue in college too, if he cut back on his interceptions, I feel like he'd be a really good quarterback because he's athletic, like he can move, he can scoot.
Well, interceptions can often be caused when you have no time and you have so much pressure, and you just don't have good teams, and I mean people aren't selling out for you, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious to see what Sam Darnold could do on a good team.
Yeah, I would too, and a good coach, like
I'm
to your
rooting
point
for
with
him.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, you mentioned the drama. We'll get to the drama. Sean Payton is causing all sorts of drama right now.
Love this. Love this.
By the way, it's coming back again, Cappy. You know what?
Tell me.
The Ultimate Fantasy Football Experience, Friday, August 18th at Hollywood Park Casino. You can be there. Get your leagues ready now and learn more at ESPNLA.com. Just like we've had every year. Big fantasy football extravaganza at Hollywood Park Casino. Get out there August 18th. Register at ESPNLA.com. Eat, drink, play. What you need to know is coming up in a second. Sean Payton's causing drama. All next here on 710 ESPN.
Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
Yeah, I'll take it. I don't mind. No problem at all. What you need to know is being brought to us by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. And as far as what you need to know, here she comes. The Queen at UNEEQ_. Laura.
Thank you, Cap. I appreciate that. And thank you for shouting on my social. Please follow me. Anyways, I saw this story yesterday and it made my heart really happy. And I could not wait to share this with you guys. And Funchi is right there with me. Disneyland announced that they're starting on September 12th. They're going to put more liquor in their restaurants. 3 different restaurants to be specific. The Carnation Cafe on Main Street, the Riverbell Terrace in Frontierland, and Cafe Orleans in the New Orleans Square will start serving beer, wine, and specialty cocktails. Again, that all starts September 12th, so right around the corner, kind of. Listen, I love Disney. Everybody knows this, but I hate that I can only drink in 2 places. Oga's, which is by Star Wars Land, and Club 33, which I have not been able to get into. So if anybody has a plug, hey King, hey Queen, let your girl know. So those are the only 2 places that I knew alcohol.
Isn't this great now? Laura doesn't have to sneak in her alcohol anymore.
I don't sneak in my alcohol.
Come on, girl. You bring a flask with you?
No.
Come on, for
I
real.
do not do anything.
Big water bottle full of vodka.
Never. I do not do any of that.
Big
Please
one.
do not listen
Big
to
one.
this man.
Like a
I do not
big
do that.
liter
I
full
buy my
of
liquor.
vodka.
I buy my liquor, okay? And when I wanted liquor, I would just go to DCA.
Disney security, look out for her.
Seriously.
But why, though? Like, why is it that Disney, and I'm just asking because I don't know, but why is it that there's such a small amount of liquor? In fact, I can't even think of ever being at a time where I've been at Disney and I've drank.
Really?
Or even thought about having a drink.
Have you ever gone to Disney World?
That's a whole different ballgame.
Because, like, I was going to say, Epcot Center has all those world pavilions.
Yeah, like beers of the
and
world
every
or
single
something.
one
Yeah.
of them has alcohol in it.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. So I was finally able to get into the Blue Bayou because it's really hard to get reservations in there. And they had wine and beer. And I mentioned it to somebody here, and they're like, whoa, we didn't know that.
Is
So
that
I don't
the
know
one
if that's
in Pirates of the Caribbean? Okay,
yes.
got it.
The food was great. But yeah, so now, parents, I know a lot of times that they were like, either, I'm not saying that people sneak in alcohol because I don't know about that. I'm not saying people do that. But they would go to DCA and get, their margaritas or whatever, their micheladas, depending where you are and what you want. But now, you can go to the restaurants there and get some liquor at Disneyland.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what's the restaurant when you're in California Adventure and you're over by, like, you walk across the bridge and you're going over to the big...
Yeah, on the right-hand side.
What's
yeah.
that restaurant?
I forgot what it's called, but I've been there.
And
yeah.
the Pixar Pier? Which one are you talking about?
Do they not serve booze of any kind?
Yeah, they serve booze there.
In that little square or something?
Yeah,
that
but
little restaurant that's like by the water.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
that's DCA.
It's like
so it's
Ariel's
different.
Grotto. Ariel's Grotto, I believe.
There you go.
Yeah, but so this is the Disneyland Park. DCA, which is Disney California Adventure, they're the booze one. So, if you want to go get drinks, that's usually where you go. At Disneyland, the only Oga's has drinks, and you can't take them out of that cantina, which is by the Star Wars land. And then Club 33.
You know way too much about Disneyland, girl. I was just going to
truly
say,
unbelievable.
man.
It's honestly like this
know.
girl
And
goes
I mean
to
that,
Disneyland
like,
so
like,
often. It's incredible.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I just go there
Oga's.
and I just,
You've
when
never been to the cantina?
Oh, I have. But when I
okay.
get there, I just I figure it out when I get there. I don't remember it like step by step.
She's park hopping based on where she can get drinks.
That's true.
This girl.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all not lying. Like, listen, if I'm going to go to the park and it's hot, I'm going to drink. And they have a really good cotton candy mimosa.
Oh, is that it?
Also, that vodka in your pocket, too.
No, ain't nobody have no vodka. See, this is why we can't.
Disney security.
We cannot progress as people, Funchy. You out here brown and black time. Like, let's not. No, that I do not do that.
Hey, white people be sneaking in stuff, too. So, hey,
we can't
it's not a
progress.
racist thing.
Anyways, there's more liquor in Disneyland.
Cappy, do you know what's on ESPN right now?
George, I think I'm watching the same thing you're watching.
Singles
watching Slam
pickleball,
Ball?
which you ridiculed me, said that didn't exist.
Oh, I thought you were watching Slam Ball.
No.
I'm watching ESPN 2. I'm watching Slam Ball. Oh yeah, pickleball. One-on-one pickleball.
Singles pickleball. You ridiculed me, said that didn't exist.
I did. I didn't know. I didn't know.
That's also what you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
On top of Laura's
Disneyland.
alcohol trails.
Also,
At
Funchy. Just saying.
My father's been out here visiting me, George.
Yeah.
And he's been going to the local pickleball club.
Yeah.
And he said he can't believe how many people, like his age, I mean, people in their late 60s, he's in his mid-70s, who almost come to blows at pickleball games. Like, you know how, like, you go to a pickup basketball game in a park and guys yell at each other, foul, foul. That's not a foul. It is a foul. Hey, like, people are, like, yelling at each other angrily and, like, nearly coming to blows on the pickleball courts.
Yeah. I believe it.
Bunch of octogenarians that want to kick each other's asses.
That's great.
These guys take it seriously, man.
Yeah, listen, you can't change. What is it? Which is the one that has stripes? Is it a tiger? Tiger doesn't have stripes, right?
I don't know. What are you trying to say here, George?
Well, you can't change a tiger's stripes, right? Yeah. I just remember which animal it was.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
got it.
So,
I do have a bone to pick with you.
A bone?
Mm-hmm.
Like a. I was going to say something, but I refrained.
Wow, good job by you.
Yeah.
But I feel like we were just about to get to this Sean Payton thing.
Yeah.
So just remind me. I got a bone to pick with you,
Well,
pal.
just do it.
You want me to pick it?
Just go. Like you do your toenails.
Let me ask you a question. You start watching quarterbacks yet?
Nope.
Okay. Because I started watching Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay.
I watched Oscar episode 1.
Right.
If I had more time, I would have watched Oscar episode 2.
And why didn't you have more time?
Just the timing that I started on it. It's just I've been watching it in smaller clips, you know. And
did Rachel not like it?
No, she hasn't watched it.
Oh.
But I'll tell you right now, it's a story that I didn't know about Oscar De La Hoya.
Right. It makes you feel like that Arnold doc is PG rated.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in some ways your criticism of the Arnold doc that it's from him, so it's kind of like it's sort of his decision as to what is in it and how he describes the stories. I feel like Oscar is also kind of, I'll say, directing his own documentary, but he's unleashing everything. And it sounded from the beginning like, hey, I just have to get this off my chest, man. Like, I got to tell everybody the truth. I was shocked at the end of the first one, and I don't want to blow it for everybody.
Yeah, but so then don't blow it. Just be
No,
careful.
I won't. But it took me a second to catch up with, I told this great big lie, that I was living a lie.
Right.
And I was like, wait, what? You're living a lie? What lie? What lie are you living? And then he tells you, here's the big lie.
Right, well, he tells you in like the first few minutes.
Yeah, but I feel like it, for some reason, in the latter part of the first episode, it really kind of hit me as he described his whole life. This Oscar De La Hoya thing, I'll give you credit, man. It is really, really good. I'm really like sitting on the edge of my seat, and they got me with the tease going into episode 2 where you see Oscar in the fishnet and his boxing gloves.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, wait, you're going to tease me with that, and I don't have time right now to watch episode 2?
A striptease, almost.
Very good.
Yeah.
And now, the worst part, here's my bone that I got to pick with you.
Oh, bone.
So my father, who's visiting me,
right?
Who I don't know if
did
you
he
know
watch
this,
it with you?
No.
Oh.
So I started watching it last night,
and now he wants to watch it.
No, this morning he walks into my office. It's like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
and I'm picking it up from where I left it off last night.
Right.
So now he says to me, "What are you watching?" I say this Oscar De La Hoya thing. He goes, "I don't know anything about it." I said, "It's on HBO Max. You can watch it while you're here." Now he has gone past me.
He's watched the whole thing.
He'll be, because of you, we lost a listener today. Okay. All your fault.
Charlie Kaplan?
Right, who should be listening to this show right now, is now finishing episode 2 of Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah, good for him.
Do you know, by the way, that he was pinned last night?
Wait, your dad was pinned?
That's correct.
In what sense?
Well, last night at Danny Kaye's, the man who makes the decisions on who receives the official pin of the Circle of Trust, Casper Villa, walked up to my father.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant pinned like in wrestling.
No.
I thought it was like, like Hulk Hogan, does the leg drop, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden he cups his hand to his ear to one side of the ring rope, cups his hand to the ear to the other side of the ring rope, cups his hand to the ear to the other side, and then one more time for good measure. And then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like it's all over
1,
there.
2, 3.
And right. Yeah. It's right. Yeah.
Did
Exactly.
he not get pinned by Hulk?
Oh.
Hulkamania was running wild last night at Danny Kaye's.
Oh, I mean, that's good too. Don't get me wrong. But that's why I was like, did he get hurt? Like, what happened here?
He was pinned by Casper Villa.
Right.
And now my father
is part of the Circle of Trust because you sent me a text, which was funny because he hadn't done it yet. And you sent me a text saying, look at who the most recent person who applied for membership to the Circle of Trust is. And I sent you a screenshot. I'm like, this guy? I'm like, and it was like some random person that I didn't recognize. And you're like, no, my father. And I'm like, well, did you accept him already? Because I didn't accept him.
I don't know how to accept him. I thought Casper helped him put in his application.
Well, he did afterwards, and then after you hung up with me, or stopped after you and I text that first initial time, a few minutes later, I looked at it again, and he was there, and then I said, oh, yeah, I just let him in.
Yeah, so he got pinned last night.
Right.
He was wearing a black golf shirt that said ESPN 710 and the Lakers.
Right.
And on the collar, Casper put that gold pin, welcoming him officially. Made him, at the time, George, I don't know if you realize this, he was an honorary member of the Circle of Trust.
Right, now he's official.
Full on.
Yeah. There you have it.
Official.
There you go. All right.
Everybody should join.
Yeah. All right, coming up next, insanity, drama. Sean Payton is back. Speaking of wrestling, he's like a wrestling character. He's coming back to the NFL, just swinging at everybody, taking shots all over the place, and defending his boo's honor. And by boo, I mean Russell Wilson. We'll get to all that coming up next.
Lead singer?
Yes, Billy Corgan.
Corgan, yeah.
Yes. Not to be confused with Billy Corbin, the documentarian.
How about James Corden, the late night guy?
Correct. All three different people.
Different dudes.
Actually, all three of them look completely different on top of that. So
it should be easy to tell them apart.
Yeah. One guy.
Bergie? What's Bergie doing with us on Saturday? You know?
I don't know. Is he coming with us?
I just read the liner.
Oh, is he producing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nobody wanted to work on Saturday but him.
I would have produced. Nobody asked.
Bergie's like, I'll work. I don't
Pay
care.
me. I'm down.
Pay her. Pay that girl.
And I see Aaron Donald. I get paid and I see him. Let's go.
Let's go. Aaron Donald on Saturday. That's going to be fun.
Behave, Cappy. Remember
what do you mean behave?
Morales
That's
said.
my man. That's my man.
Morales
Aaron
said
Donald.
behave. I'm just reminding you.
That's my Pitt football brother right there.
See.
God, I felt like such a jerk a couple of years ago. The Rams were playing the Bills, and the Bills had at the time Shady McCoy. He was kind of their go-to guy, you know. And I talked to Shady the night before the game because I was doing one of those like CBS broadcasts, you know. And I said, hey man, tomorrow after the game, it'd be really great if me, you, and AD could get a picture together on the field. And he's like, okay, sounds good, man. Let's do it. And then I said to AD, I go, hey, tomorrow after the game, do me a favor. Let's me, you, and Shady get a picture together, you know? Like, I'm an old guy from Pitt, and you guys are young dudes. And so we said, okay, great. And then after the game, I think the Bills won the game. I have to go back and look. But I remember, like, one of them wasn't happy and one of them was. And I was like, hey, guys, can we still get this picture? And I, like, honestly pulled them together and took the picture. One of them was super stoked, ready to celebrate. And the other one was like, come on, dog, for real? It's a great picture. I like it.
Yeah. I'm sure as long as you like it, Cappy.
I like the picture.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring AD a copy and I'll sign it for him.
You'll sign it for him.
Right.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I'm sure he would enjoy that.
You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to print out a glossy 8x10 and go, yo, AD, you want me to sign this for you? Hey, I sent it to Shady. He already signed it. You want me to? And I'll sign Shady's name. You know, you want me to sign this for you, bro?
Really?
You're going to forge somebody's signature.
Well, I don't know. Shady's usually in town now, isn't he? Maybe I can find him.
Yeah, he's in L.A. a lot.
LaShawn.
He works for Fox, doesn't he?
I think so.
Actually, I think my agent reps him.
Oh, really?
Do you want me to ask?
Ask him. Ask him if he's around, if he can sign an autograph for Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I'll ask.
What's your agent know? Say, yo, man, you got Shady McCoy? He said, yeah. Go, hey, can I get him to sign something for Aaron Donald? Aaron Donald wants his autograph.
Do you want me to seriously text him?
Yes, find out. FaceTime your agent.
I'm not going to FaceTime him.
FaceTime him. He'll answer if you call.
No.
My agent will not answer if I call.
No. He'll answer if I call. He'll also be like, aren't you on the radio right now? That would be his first. Are you on vacation or are you on the radio right now?
Hey, I thought you were on vacation. You told me you were on vacation.
No.
That was
Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I love this version of Sean Payton.
Me too.
So Sean Payton first started with him ripping Nathaniel Hackett, which, let's be honest, is kind of low-hanging fruit, right? And he basically said that it wasn't, the whole thing was a complete disaster last year.
Worst coaching job in the history of the NFL.
Correct, is what he said. That was what he said. Mm-hmm. And he said it's not Russ's fault. It was the worst coaching job in the history of the NFL.
Right.
And, he says there's a lot of talent on the team, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And is he wrong about that? Cap, do you remember I did week 2 in Denver, which was the week after the crazy Seattle Monday Night Football loss? You remember that?
The Seattle loss was when he sent out Brandon McManus to try like a 75-yard field goal rather than giving Russell Wilson a chance to throw to pick up like
on like 4th and 2 or something, right?
When his whole career stat line said that on 4th and short, he was like 65%.
Right. So...
Yeah.
That was week 1, right? Mm-hmm. Remember that insane Monday Night Football game in Seattle,
right?
And Russell Wilson and the Broncos, got beat because Nathaniel Hackett was a dope, and I had to do week 2. Okay, so I did week 2, and it was for ESPN Radio, and they were playing the Texans. So the assumption was, the Texans stink. The Broncos are going to roll at home. Russ and those guys, they'll fix it. It'll be fine. So me and Mike Mayock, formerly Raiders general manager and formerly before that of the NFL Network, are calling this game on ESPN Radio.
I like Mike Mayock.
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah, he's good.
It was I have never. First of all, he just was a incredible person to be around in regards to just the storytelling, the knowledge. Like, it was second to none. I know Raider fans may have a different opinion of him, but my interaction with him could not have been better. Like,
No,
he
he's
was
great.
a genuinely nice human being.
Oh,
on
yeah.
top
But
of
remember,
that.
like, when he used to be on NFL Network as one of their, like, draft preview guys?
Yeah, he
I
was their Mel Kiper, right.
I was always kind of looking at him going, who is Mike Mayock? They never really understood his credentials.
Right.
And, man, I don't know if I really love this guy. But I'll tell you, man, off air, in real life, in real person, you listen to him talk about the NFL, you're like, wow. This is a guy who really, really knows the league.
Yeah, he played in the NFL for a few years.
Yeah, I go, but I didn't really remember his career, And I said, but, man, he really knows the league. He studies. He knows his stuff. Because, remember, I also worked with him in that Minnesota-New York football giant playoff game this past year. So I hadn't seen him in a little while. Well, certainly before he took the Raiders job. But, yeah, he's a good dude, Mike Mayock. I like him.
Great dude. So anyway, he and I do this game, and it was a freaking disaster, okay?
Remind me of what happened.
The Broncos won like 12-9 or something like that. Yeah. And by the way, they weren't all field goals. Like, they missed, they went for like a 2-point conversion and couldn't convert. It was a disaster. And after the first quarter, I think the Texans might have been leading. I'd have to go back and check. And they booed him. This is the home opener of Nathaniel Hackett. And yeah, it was 3-3 at the end of one. 3-3. And they were like cascade of boos. 60,000 people. Boo! Boo! Like, it was. I looked at Mayock and I'm like, have you ever seen anything like this after one quarter? He's like, nope. And I'm like, okay.
Right, and I was the general manager of the Raiders.
Right. So and now the Broncos ended up winning 16-9. I had a great touchdown call between Russell Wilson to one of the tight ends. Saubert was his name. Great call by me.
It was a great call by me. It wasn't a great throw by Russ. It wasn't a great catch
throw.
by the kid.
Great throw too.
It wasn't great pass
but a great
protection.
call by me.
It was an amazing call by me.
I am not really the guy to toot my own horn, but that one, I was like, I nailed that one.
That's a good call.
I nailed that one.
I don't know who that guy is, but that's a damn good call. Oh, it's me.
Yeah, I nailed that one, and I am generally not the guy that toots my own work.
Mm-hmm.
But so anyway, it was a So I left that game, and we were all like going to the airport after that, and we were just talking, like the crew, and we were like, oh man, this is going to be really bad. This is going to be terrible. So when he says it's the worst coaching performance he's ever seen, remember after that game, you and I did a show, and I said, Cappy, I did this game, and he is the worst head coach I've ever seen in my entire life in football.
The thing is this, though. It is true that Sean Payton becoming the Broncos coach and taking his shot at Nathaniel Hackett, you called it low-hanging fruit. That's what it is. See, when you're a smart head coach, you find ways to fire up your team, And if you're Sean Payton, I'm not talking about firing them up like they're going to win the Super Bowl. Here's what Sean Payton is saying behind closed doors to his team. Hey, guys, last year, that was an embarrassment. Every guy in here should be ashamed of themselves. But good news, fellas, it wasn't your fault.
Right.
I went back. I studied the film. I know every play. It was the worst coached team in the history of football. And by the way, I'm not telling you guys that. I'm telling everybody that.
Right.
So just so you guys know, you're all off the hook for last year. Last year's team is history. Okay? It's Nathaniel Hackett's fault. I'm going to call him out by name.
And he did. So then he added on to this, okay, by then saying that they asked him, well, what do you think about him going to the Jets? And he said, he basically implied that thing is going to be a train wreck too, that everyone thinks that's going to be smooth sailing, and he does not believe that that's the case.
Well, I'll say this. Here would be my bold prediction today. You ready?
Yeah.
I'll bet you the Jets win more games than the Broncos this year.
Probably.
And let me say this.
Yeah.
Sean Payton should really check himself.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. I haven't heard you check someone in a while.
It's been a little while. Listen, let's just understand that Sean Payton is a lot of hype right now. Sean Payton is the same guy that Mike McCarthy is of the Dallas Cowboys. A guy who won a Super Bowl 10, 12, 13 years ago, never won one since. He had a Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew Brees. McCarthy had a Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. And all those guys have to show for it is one Super Bowl a generation ago. Now, Sean Payton's got Russell Wilson, a future Hall of Fame quarterback. So, hey, Coach, I'll tell you what, man. You left coaching, you went to TV, you came back to coaching. You brought a little bit of the edge that you learned in broadcasting back to coaching. That I like. But hold on a second, Sean Payton. You and Drew Brees won one Super Bowl.
By the way, the over-under for the Broncos is 8.5, and for the Jets, it's 9.
Okay? So I'm just saying I would take the Jets. I think Sean Payton needs to, in my opinion, I need to see that Sean Payton is a great coach again. He was a great coach when he won a Super Bowl. But you know what? As Drew Brees broke every passing record in the history of the NFL, they didn't get back to the Super Bowl. There was controversy along the way. See the Rams game, obviously.
That one, yeah.
But seriously, like, he won a Super Bowl a long time ago. So what? Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl a long time ago. Big deal.
Yeah, but he's a better coach than Mike McCarthy.
How do we judge that?
Because people that know like the quarterbacking part of it, particularly, will tell you he's a better coach than Mike McCarthy.
Okay, if you say so. But
I mean, Keyshawn says it.
Well, that's one guy.
I mean, and I he's not the only one.
Well, look, Mike McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers.
I mean,
this guy had Drew Brees.
To defend Sean Payton a little bit, I mean, he won games with Taysom Hill and stuff as quarterback.
Yeah,
you know what I
listen,
mean?
their coordinator.
He won with Jameis Winston.
Hey, a guy like Pete Carmichael, his offensive coordinator. For all
If
those
Jameis
years,
Winston
very
doesn't
creative.
get hurt, they make the playoffs with Jameis Winston when everyone thought Jameis Winston was a bust.
Okay, so listen.
So he's better than McCarthy, I will say.
Okay, I mean, listen, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me which one. I'm saying to you the two of them are the same. They both had Hall of Fame quarterbacks. They both won a Super Bowl 10, 12 years ago, and they haven't done anything since. That's all.
Yeah. Well, in that regard, yes. But when we get into the nuances of it, I don't believe they're the same.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Ask me a question.
Yeah. Will Russell Wilson and Sean Payton win a championship together?
That's a tough one. How old is Russ?
Russ is probably 33-ish, 34-ish, I'm going to take a guess.
Let me see.
Check it.
34.
Okay.
34. When is his birthday? Just to make sure. Got this right. Well, he's going to be 35 this year.
Okay.
So he'll be 35 at some point during the season.
Is a 35-year-old Russell Wilson ever going to overtake a 27-year-old Patrick Mahomes?
No. I think that's part of the problem. Like, I don't want to ever say never because you know I'm not an absolutist.
I've heard this.
Yeah. So I just, I don't want to say never, but I would bet against a championship. Yes, I would bet against that.
Do you think that the Broncos make the playoffs?
Strange things happen in the NFL. From one year to the next, there's always 4 or 5 different teams that make the playoffs.
All I'm saying to you is they got to deal with Kansas City.
They do.
They'll have to deal with San Diego.
L.A.
Okay, whatever. And they'll have to eventually.
All right, so let me look at this schedule here real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. Actually, we'll do it after Radio Tinder because I want to continue this discussion.
this is a good
Because
one.
the Jets coach, Robert Saleh, went back at
dude.
Sean Payton.
He's awesome, that guy.
All right? I
like
love this.
Saleh.
I love when coaches talk trash. We haven't seen this in a long time.
Yeah, it's
because
good.
back in the day when I was a kid, you had Jimmy Johnson would talk about Buddy Ryan and Parcells and those guys. They'd all rip each other. It was great. I love when coaches rip each other.
Yeah, this is
and
good.
the
Good
Lakers,
drama.
Phil used to get into it with coaches all the time. I miss that. So we'll get to Radio Tinder and we'll go back to the Oh, Blake is after Radio Tinder.
Then we'll get back to it.
6 o'clock.
Then we'll do it.
So here's the deal. Radio Tinder's next. Then Blake, we got to talk Dodgers and this whole Ohtani thing. And then football, Jack.
Football.
So there you go. All right. There's a liner you need me to read, Laura? Yeah, Saturday, Sedano and Kap. That's me and you.
We'll be
Live
there.
from Rams training camp at 4 o'clock. Be there or be square. Aaron Donald will be joining us. Why is corporate Greg in this liner?
I couldn't understand it either, and I did a Ron Burgundy. And I
Same
read
thing
the
I
whole
asked
thing.
too.
Listen from 4 to 7 or be there at UC Irvine 4 to 7 on Saturday on 710 ESPN, the home of your Los Angeles Rams.
Oral.
So Al and I are teaming up for your chance to win an entire office full of lunch from Waba Grill. So you're going to want to be listening all day during the 12 o'clock lunch hour for your cue to call to pick up food for the entire office, courtesy of Waba Grill.
We got some ribeye, we got some chicken, we got some shrimp.
I'm making it sound like I cooked them myself. Look at these boom boom tacos.
You can visit wabagrill.com. You can order online. Just go on in, get yourself some of these tacos. Visit your local Waba Grill location. Of course, walk right in. Of course, you can order online for delivery or pickup. Waba Grill, right? Eat smart, be healthy. Boom boom, kaboom.
Southland on your Thursday. You know what we do at 5:30, Radio Tinder Time. We like to play a TV theme. Happy birthday to the legend, the genius, the great television producer, Norman Lear turns 101 today. Of course, Norman Lear behind just a few great TV shows like All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Good Times, Maude, and yes, this one, Sanford and Son. Happy birthday, Norman Lear. He's sitting in today for producer Lindsay, who's on vacation. You can follow producer Funches somewhere out there in the social media land. And don't forget about our sponsor, Tequila Mandala. The great Craig Cartosian, Kirk Cartosian, always swipe right on Tequila Mandala, founded in the great city of Downey. With that, Radio Tinder Time. Take it away, producer Funches.
Thank you, Christopher. All right, guys. According to research compiled by Dojo, the hardest restaurant in the world to get into is 2 hours outside of London, and it's called the Bank Tavern. The waiting time to putting a reservation now for a seat would be for 4 years. So if you put a reservation in today, you wouldn't get into their restaurant until July 2027.
We should make a reservation today, no doubt. Just for the hell of it. We're not,
right?
We're not definitely going.
Well, they're famous for their 30-day aged beef roast and a slow-cooked pork belly, which sounds amazing. So you could wait 4 years.
I could totally see Cappy just trying to like weasel his way in there.
I know,
I
right?
just show up right there.
Sip them
I'm in
100
the
or
house.
something. Yeah, the
What up?
D. You could wait 4 years to get into a restaurant. Swipe left or swipe right, Cappy.
No chance. I mean, listen, I have my parents in town. I keep mentioning this, and I'm taking them to dinner on Friday night.
So, where are you taking us?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So, you tell me, where are we going? Okay, all right, very nice, lovely. So, I just made the reservations today. Today's Thursday. Yeah. Tomorrow's Friday night.
Right.
This place is jam-packed.
Right.
It's a hard place to get a table.
Yeah.
You got to know the right people, right?
Jack, yeah.
So I call the guy.
Yeah.
I say to the guy, hey, I'm bringing my mom and dad. I'm bringing Rubber or Rachel, the whole deal. I need a table at 7:30 on Friday night. That's a big request 24 hours in advance.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going to do. I'm not waiting in line 4 years. I'm not planning my life around 4 years from now.
Yeah. Why did you also wait till the last second?
I don't know, George. I just am so unorganized, man. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, dude.
That's why you have Rachel.
I don't know. I mean, even she's like, have you made reservations yet? I'm like, no, I'll do it. I did. I got it done.
Sedano?
Oh, hell no.
Hell no.
I asked Sponge, I was like, what if, let's just, knock on wood, something were to happen to you? Does somebody get your reservation? Like,
I'm guessing you just cross your name off the list or something. Go to the next guy.
No, you put it in your will.
Yeah, when I lived in Miami, I used to know the guy who ran Prime 112, not the owner, like the guy who was the GM or whatever.
The guy.
And it was great because they used to own. I mean, for those that have ever been there, they own like a bunch of restaurants down there. They own Prime 112, Prime Italian, Prime Fish. They own like there's a cool little diner they own. So yeah, back in those days, it would just be like. Because he was cool, like it would just be like you show up and be like, just have a drink, I got you. And the same thing at Joe Stone Crab, which is, as Cappy knows, another famous restaurant down there. So I got hooked up. Well, I forgot what was his name. I'd have to text
Steve.
No, the maitre d' there.
Bill.
The maitre d' there.
John?
I could picture him. I could picture him. Glasses, like good-looking dude. Buzz cut.
I know. Yes. Michael.
No.
Michael Johnston?
No. So anyway.
Stephen Jones.
He introduced me to the guy.
He introduced? That's his
I got
name?
introduced to him by a guy. Okay? And he told me, you take care of him. When you see him, right when you come in, you shake his hand, you give a little 20.
20? Back then, 20.
Back then.
Okay, I was about to
This is like
say.
20 years ago.
20.
Yeah, back then, 20.
20
Now
years
it's a
ago.
hundo.
Now it's got to be more than that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
But back
hundo.
then it was like 20. I would give him like 40. You know what I mean? So I do like 2 20s, handshake.
It's like Goodfellas
Be like,
style.
hey, brother, great to see you. Because you have to wait in line to check in. And then at Joe Stone Crabs, as you know, no reservations. So, and then he'd be like, Georgie, how many? And I'd be like, nah, it's me and the wife. We got some friends, whatever. It's like 6. And he's like,
like 12 of us. Nothing big.
no, I would never do that. I would never
That's
do
you, Cap.
I would
That's
never
you.
do
No,
that.
20.
Hey, it's
No
only
more
12
than
of us.
6 people ever. Okay.
Yeah, and 6 is, yep.
And I was like, and then it would be like, he's like, go have a drink. I'll call you in a minute.
All right.
And that's it. But we weren't even done with the drinks. And like 20 minutes later, we'd have a seat. The general wait there was always like 90 minutes to 2 hours. And people would wait it.
So
If
I
you
was
know the right guy.
So I was gonna say, there was me and Morales were
Eddie.
talking about this.
Eddie was his name.
Eddie,
Okay,
I was
we were
I
not
was
on
so
your
phone,
close.
huh?
The guy
We
with the
were
glasses.
not.
I wonder if he's still there.
The guy with the glasses, right?
I
Eddie?
should try to text
Yes.
him. Hold on.
FaceTime him.
No, I'm not
No.
FaceTiming. Because if he's still working, he's probably at the restaurant right now.
Yeah,
FaceTime
no.
him.
So me and Morales were talking about this new brewery, Villains Brewing Company in Anaheim that we want to go to. Shout out to the owner, Josh. One of the owners. He listens. He's a huge listener of the show. He loves you guys. And we were like, dude, we need to go. But the average wait time for
There he
the
is.
brewery is like
Ed
2
Joe
hours.
Stone is in my phone still.
Ed Joe Stone.
There you go. Anyways, I didn't wait 2 hours. But it is a 2-hour wait.
2-hour wait at a
You're gonna be
brewery.
waiting 4 years, girl.
No, but yeah, because it's new. They just opened, and they had like a soft opening on May 5th, and then they opened, I believe, last month. And I was like, yeah, it's 2 hours. Josh's like, don't trip, I got you.
Don't trip at all.
Yeah, I don't do long waits like that.
When's the next big event in Miami? We should go there.
Let's go.
Oh, God, you guys running Miami?
What is the college football playoff there soon?
I don't know. Let's go. Let's just say it is and go.
The Super Bowl? Well, Super Bowl's Vegas next year.
Mm-hmm. Vegas next year, as in Vegas this upcoming year. Yeah.
Correct. As in
Wow.
as in February though.
And it's a CBS Super Bowl, isn't it?
Ah.
Does it sound right? Well, it's important to know because when Jim Nantz gets that tequila mandala, there could be some 50-yard line seats for us at the Super Bowl, buddy.
Why don't we just go for boat week?
I'll go for boat week.
Oh, to Miami? It's
I've
during the
never been
All-Star
to
game.
I've never been to Miami.
It's always during the All-Star week.
Dude, we should do a Sedano Kap week in Miami.
With
I
just
don't know-
listeners?
No, just us.
Oh, 2020, the 2025 season. So that's not this season. They're playing in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, the college football playoff is in Atlanta, and then the year after that, it's in Miami.
Atlanta.
We got to figure something else out.
So if
F1,
Lincoln
I don't
Riley and
care.
company make the game, championship game.
Let's do it.
No, we just need to go down there and just do it regardless.
You're saying like a listener trip? That we
that's
can't
so-
do. I don't think we have
that's
enough
so-
insurance for that.
Yeah,
to be honest.
no.
Well,
Plus, if you
a
guys
circle
go-
of trust. We'll tell you where we're going to be. You come on down. Oh, wow. Sedano's Psy in stereo.
And Laura at the same time.
Yeah, I know. In stereo. All right, what else
All right,
you
what's
got,
next,
Punch?
Funchy? Go ahead.
All right, guys. So Sedano's boy D Wade is getting inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame, and he's choosing the answer, Allen Iverson, to induct him.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. So
Yeah, you have to choose a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So say you guys get voted into the Radio Hall of Fame, you would choose each other to induct one another in the hall. Swipe left or swipe right. Sedano.
I'm not.
I didn't want to cause any controversy, but
You don't.
yeah.
Here we are.
Come on, George. Who you got? who would induct you?
Well, it would have to be a Hall of Famer,
Okay. Who you got?
right? Well, I don't know if are those the same rules that apply.
I don't. No,
I
it
don't know how
doesn't.
that
We'll
works,
just say
guys.
anyone. We'll just say anyone.
For this exercise, let's keep it to a Hall of Famer.
Well, I don't know. I don't know who a Radio Hall of Famer is right now.
Mason.
No.
Ireland.
Their whole point is that they're not in the
I know.
Hall of Fame. They're very upset
trolling.
about this.
I was trolling a little bit.
Big
boy is.
You know what, Cappy? You'd be in consideration. How about that?
Thank you.
I would just say you're at least in consideration.
Top five.
I would not summarily dismiss you.
I like not being summarily dismissed.
Yeah. He's in the final. He's in like that 3 to 5 cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in my 3 to 5 cut too.
There you go.
Yeah, I just got to kind of figure out who's 2 and 1. And then I got to weigh my options.
Right. Did Jim Nantz?
I was going to say Jim Nantz.
Hello, friends.
Yeah.
I'm here today to induct a young man into the Radio
Maybe
Hall
I would
of
ask
Fame.
D Wade to do it,
Oh.
What about A-Rod?
or A Rod.
Oh.
It's true.
Yeah, they
I like
trump
that.
you, Cappy.
Yeah, I get that.
You know,
Bigger name on the other line.
What
I
about
get
Troy
it.
Aikman for you?
right?
Troy
You
Aikman?
and him have a horse together or whatever.
Right?
Yeah, now that me and Troy are so tight.
There you go.
That's a good one, Troy
I like
Aikman.
But yeah, that's a good question. I don't
Steve
know.
Harvey. He's in
Steve
the radio.
Harvey.
Well, I don't know
Hall.
Steve Harvey though.
gotta
So,
go on fire.
In theory, it should be someone you know. You know?
No, man, go guns blazing.
Yeah, I'm your
No,
man,
it
Steve
can't be
Harvey.
just some random person you don't know.
I
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
we gotta go on fire.
How about Ric Flair?
Woo!
There you go. All right, what's next?
All right. So about a couple weeks ago, me and the wifey went to Vegas.
Okay.
We drove on a Friday afternoon. We got close to Baker, and then we heard a flapping sound against a tire.
Uh-oh.
We had pulled over pretty much in Death Valley, like right before Baker, and we couldn't diagnose the problem. So we got the car towed from Baker
all the way back home.
No, to Vegas.
Oh, you went to Vegas.
Went
Smart
to
move
Vegas.
at that point.
Yes. So yes, I feel like if we went back, we weren't going to go on our trip. So
Right.
we went forward.
Right.
How'd you guys get there?
What was that?
Well, they took the car on a flatbed?
Yeah, they put
And
it.
how'd
They,
they take
What did
you?
you do?
oh yeah, so we got to Vegas, and my
No,
friend.
how'd you get
How did
there?
you get
Oh,
there
we
from
took
there?
a towed. A tow. We were in
Oh,
a
the
tow
tow
truck.
took you?
Yeah, the tow truck. We were
Were
in
you
the
in
tow
your
truck.
car on the flatbed, or were you in the tow truck
We were in a
with the
tow
driver?
truck. We were in a tow truck in the back
With
seat.
the guy?
With the guy, yes.
That's insane. Go
Yes,
ahead.
for like about 100 miles.
They got
Oh
an
my
Uber.
God.
Yeah, I know. Exactly, right?
That's actually a good, smart idea.
Yeah.
You're free. You're already paying the guy to tow him.
Exactly.
We might as well give you the ride.
I know. So we saved on some gas too. So
Right.
So my friend, he knows a lot about cars. He diagnosed it. He saw a panel loose at the bottom. So he kind of screwed it in, and blah blah blah. We continued on our trip and did our vacation. We weren't going to go back because this is our vacation. We've been planning it since January, whatever. We wanted to go. So you let transportation problems stop your vacation plan. Swipe left or swipe right. Cappy.
Oh, no, I'm not going to let transportation problems take me off track. No. So if you have a problem, like, listen, you go to the airport and your flight gets canceled and there are no other flights to get to where you want to go, you start thinking about, well, how else can I get there? Now, if I have to drive cross country, that could put a real damper on things. But I'm with you, Funch. I'm forging forward.
Yeah, of course. You've been planning this thing for months.
You got AAA, dog?
I did. I have AAA, so it was free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you got a free ride.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AAA
It was like
is
200
legit.
miles. It was like a 200 mile, radius or whatever I had.
Yeah.
And
Gotta
it
have
was like 100
AAA.
miles.
Gotta have
Good for
it.
you. Yep.
Yeah,
Get
got
that
to, man.
platinum one. That's what my dad has.
Sedano, do transportation problems stop your vacation?
No, historically, I feel like if I've had like some sort of issue,
Like
we
car
just-
problems, whatever?
I'm trying to think. Have I had car problems? I don't think I've had car problems on a road trip that I can recall off the top of my head. And then just like canceled flights. To Cappy's
or
point,
even just missing a flight?
I've never. Oh no, that's not true. I missed a flight once, and it was, I think, the day after a Super. Oh, it was the day after the whole Janet Jackson Boobygate Super Bowl, and in Houston, the line they for whatever reason, this might have been the first time they had the Super Bowl there in a really long time. So
In Houston?
yeah.
It was actually, I think, the first time it was there.
Oh really?
I think so.
So the airport to get out was insane the next morning, where
Like
it
a
was
2-hour wait to
2
TSA?
hours wait at TSA. Yes,
Oy,
and,
oy.
and back then I don't even know if there was such a thing as TSA pre-check. It was like 2003 or whatever.
It wasn't.
Right.
There wasn't, right?
Right. So everybody had to wait, and it was a complete disaster. That's the only time I've missed a flight. So it was after a Super Bowl. I came close once in Canada, but luckily I have the. It was on the way back home, so I have
Global
like
entry?
the global entry, right? So I was able to get back in. I was on the quick line, and Paul Pierce, my colleague at the time, had to wait in the regular line. I was like, "Hey, Paul, how's it back there?"
All right, point of information on the city of Houston. 3 Super Bowls of the 56 Super Bowls that have been played. Super Bowl 8 must have been played in the Astrodome.
Right. That
And
was a
then the one
long
that you're-
one.
the
No,
one
that
you're
might have
talking
been
about-
outdoors too, Super Bowl 8, but it was probably at an old stadium, like Rice Stadium, I'm guessing.
The one you're talking about was Super Bowl 38.
Super Bowl 8 had to have been at Rice Stadium.
Yeah, 38 is the one you were talking about, though.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
It was at Rice Stadium, by the way, the one you were talking about.
How about that?
Yeah. So there you have it. All right. That is Radio Tinder, which went very long, but, whatever. What are you going
It's
to do?
really good, though.
I mean, yeah, I thought it was all right.
It's award-winning.
It is award-winning. And it's brought to you by our friends at Tequila Mandala, award-winning small batch premium sippy tequila as well. Made from the finest mature agaves, available everywhere fine tequilas are sold. Visit their website, tequilamandala.com, and demand the extraordinary with Tequila Mandala. All right, baseball, trade deadline, couple days away. Dodgers have already made some moves. The Angels are flirting with disaster here, potentially, because of Ohtani's injury after not trading him. Our guy Blake Harris joins us next.
Prescriptions Listen to Sedano and Kap more at 4 p.m.
And it is Sedano and Kap your Thursday afternoon. Happy birthday. She turns 51, the great Maya Rudolph. It's also National Intern Day. And on this day in 1987, Starship released the album No Protection. Don't look at me, Cappy.
I thought you were going to chalk my cue.
And this one, it would be a #1 smash hit. Nothing's going to stop us now. Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
And we can build this thing together. Stand and stop forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And
God,
if
I hope
this
this is
world
not in my head the rest of the day.
of lovers, we'll still have
please.
each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Oh, oh, oh.
You notice I didn't sing there.
Why? Don't you like this song?
I don't like this song.
Who doesn't like this song?
I don't. I don't like it.
It's like the prototypical 80s song.
I don't know. I always, for some reason, found this song to be annoying. And
Don't
I'm
remember
worried
that
now
movie, Mannequin?
Yeah, I know. I feel like it's
I was
going to
ask
in my
him.
head.
There's no way
Mannequin.
he was going to guess that.
Yeah, no, Mannequin I wasn't getting. Who's
And
in
we've
Mannequin?
actually
Was that-
asked you that before, which is why I wanted to ask you again.
Who is that? Is Tom Hanks in Mannequin?
Andrew
Come on.
McCarthy.
Oh, Andrew McCarthy.
And
Right.
Kim Cattrall,
Yeah,
your girl from Sex and the City.
right. The dirty one.
Yes, Cappy.
The hot one.
All right, Blake Harris joins us now.
What's up, Blake?
What up, guys? How you doing? You guys are talking about a lot of movies and songs that sounded a little before my time.
They were definitely before your time. Hopefully you've recovered from COVID because you had COVID again recently, as you mentioned.
Who still gets COVID?
Blake did.
That's what I want to know. Apparently, if you go to Portland, I guess it's a hot spot because I came back, I got it, and I gave it to my girlfriend. So I guess the silver lining was I didn't have to quarantine myself from her, so we just pretty much battled through it together, and we really caught up on Vanderpump Rules. So that was, I guess, a positive about COVID. So we're all caught up, and that was a good time.
All right. So, hey, Balake, let me ask you about the moves that the Dodgers made this week. I'll start with Kike. So I don't really think that they're getting a player that's going to help them win a World Series per se.
Yeah, by the way, Blake Harris is our Dodger baseball insider, joins us every Thursday at approximately 5:45. You can follow him on Twitter at Blake H. Harris. Subscribe to his Substack, which is where he's doing the Lord's work, particularly on the Dodgers. And subscribe to his podcast, Inside the Ravine. Go ahead,
Well
Kevin.
said. Well said. Kike Hernandez, though, while he may not come and have like an everyday role, did you see the video from yesterday when he got into the dugout and he's doing his dance down the dugout? Did you see that?
I did, and I think that's half of the reason
That's
they brought
why.
Kike back.
Right, because and George laughs at me every time I say this, Kike Hernandez, like a Max Muncy, like a Justin Turner, you got to have certain guys that are heart and soul guys.
Exactly. And that's what the Dodgers have been missing the last couple of years. It's what this team was missing in October when they lost to the Padres. They just didn't have that guy that could get everyone going in the dugout, in the clubhouse. And I know Kike's production isn't where it's been in years past, but he's coming over. He's going to be a bench piece, gets a couple starts a week. But as you saw, that video yesterday, he's going crazy in the clubhouse. Everyone's loving it. So I think by bringing Kike back, I think it's going to boost, the morale in the locker room and get the Dodgers going. And plus, they could tap into potential of what he did a couple years ago. I know the hitting coaches already said they're working with some things so they could try to get his swing back to what it was in 2020.
As far as Ahmed Rosario, what are the Dodgers getting there?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one because at least with Kike, I figured he's probably replacing Yoni Hernandez when it comes to that kind of role. With Ahmed Rosario, I didn't really see the need for him because they already have a shortstop. I guess if you want to look at it this way, he is fantastic against left-handed pitching. He's hitting above 300 against lefties, has a WRC plus of 130, which is 30% higher than league average. So you're essentially getting a hitter that is twice as good as Miguel Rojas. Defensively, however, he's supposedly the worst defensive shortstop in baseball. So if I were to guess, he's going to be getting more starts, but maybe by the 7th or 8th inning, they'll be doing defensive switches to get Miguel Rojas in there. But I think Ahmed Rosario is probably going to be an everyday guy, at least against lefties.
All this talk about Nolan Arenado, George brought it up last week. And, George said, hey, we came up with this last week. No, smart guy, you came up with it last week. I didn't have Nolan Arenado on my Dodger radar. You think that is a possibility? And don't you feel like the Dodgers should be thinking more pitching?
It is a little bit interesting because I agree. Pitching is the number one priority, especially starting pitching. But the Nolan Arenado thing, that's something weeks and weeks ago on Inside the Ravine I brought up because I thought the president of baseball operations for the Cardinals had a couple interesting quotes when it came to their trade deadline. And I said, I think Nolan Arenado might be in play. And today there was the report in the LA Times that the Dodgers are checking in on him, that he's going to waive his no-trade clause only for the Dodgers. And it sounds like if they make this trade, and I actually did an article on this the other day, I think the Dodgers should overpay, get Arenado, but get Jack Flaherty, get Jordan Montgomery. And I think the article in the LA Times mentioned they would get at least one of those starting pitchers. So although I think Nolan Arenado would make the Dodgers that much better, if they are trading for him, it seems insane for the deal to at least not include one of those starters. But I think there's a chance it can include both.
All right. So,
you want me to come in at all?
I'm waiting for you, but I'm looking at you. You're busy.
Well, I wasn't busy. I started checking.
Like
I started checking my phone because you were just firing off questions like you had some like baseball Tourette's or something.
And I'm looking at you like you're doing something on your phone, so maybe you got something more important going on. Maybe
on
you
the
don't care
contrary,
what
I was
Bellotti
ready
thinks.
to jump in after the first question, and then you kept talking. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just look at something
Felt like
else.
I was filling dead air. That's all.
I mean, jeez.
George, I'll talk to you, man. I got no problem talking to you. Cappy and I had our little moment, our one-on-one, but I'm opening to you now. We can finish this.
Yeah, I'm out now for the next 3 minutes.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, we only have 3 minutes left with the kid, so I mean, it is what it is. Now, in regards to their pitching situation, as I believe you guys were alluding to, I mean, you can make a mega deal with the Cardinals to make that happen, correct?
Yeah, you can make a mega deal happen. Like I said, Jack Flaherty, Jordan Montgomery, those two guys are probably the two best starters that are on the market. Now that Lucas Giolito, in a complete shock of a trade last night, went to the Los Angeles Angels, I thought he was the number one pitching target, and I thought the Dodgers were probably going to get him. So, yeah, all of a sudden now, unless the Padres decide to sell last minute, the Cardinals have the two best starters on the market. So, yeah, if you're trading for Nolan Arenado, you might as well get the two best starters that they have to offer.
So you mentioned Giolito, who went to the Angels, of all places, right? I mean, that's
why do you say it like that, of all places? Why do you say it like that?
Because it seems like the Angels are making this push when I don't know if it's the most prudent thing to do, but maybe I'm the idiot, and they end up laughing at all of us because if they make, if they end up winning and getting to the playoffs, then I guess it's all worth it.
But what if they don't? But they've proven to Ohtani that we're serious about winning, and he decides to stay in Anaheim.
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's enough to get. I mean, so if they miss the playoffs, you're saying you think that he's just going to be like, oh, cool, you tried?
Well, let's first see, and Blake jump in here. But what happened today?
Yeah, what happened? I thought I was talking to Blake. I thought you were done.
But I didn't really understand. Of all people, why would we not give the Angels at least a little bit of credit for trying? They said that they're going to keep Ohtani. Now they're going to show Ohtani, hey, we're serious about winning. Okay, Blake, your turn. Go ahead.
Well, I just figured that, first of all, Giolito would go for more than just the Angels prospects, is my point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show maybe the Dodgers weren't interested in Giolito. Okay, maybe they're all focused on the Cardinals. But, yeah, I was shocked with the Angels, but I will tip my hat. Yesterday it came out that they're going to keep Shohei. Then they just go out and they trade their number 2 and their number 3 prospect for Giolito, which if the Dodgers would have traded their number 2 and number 3 prospect for Giolito, people would be at Dodger Stadium right now demanding Friedman to give answers because that would have been quite the overpay.
But I think part of that is because if you look at the Angels, in regards to their farm system, I would, the Dodgers have the second best farm system in the sport. You know what I mean?
It is a bit different. Yeah,
right.
The Angels' number 2 prospect would be like the Dodgers' number 6 prospect. So yeah, I guess in a way, but I'm sure that the White Sox probably would have tried to fleece fleece them just a little. But who knows? Again, maybe the Dodgers have a master plan together. But hats off to the Angels, but I was pretty blown away to see Giolito go.
I just think this can end epically bad, where they end up giving away their some of their future for a guy in Giolito who's good but not great. He's good, don't get me wrong, but he's not great.
Yeah.
Then they end up losing Ohtani and not making the playoffs. If all that goes wrong, you're gonna look back and go, what the hell were you guys thinking for the last year?
But if it goes the opposite direction, which is he stays and he signs and they start to show signs of improvement and they become contenders, then they did the right thing.
Do you trust them to do that considering their history?
Not particularly, but I actually can I can applaud them for trying.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Padres tried, and how'd that work out?
Well, they beat the Dodgers in the playoffs last year.
Right, but I'm saying this year they tried
Terrible.
some more,
It's
right?
An embarrassment.
Right, that's my point.
It's an embarrassment, is
right.
what it is.
And beating the Dodgers in the playoffs, that's like the Clippers beating the Lakers, like we
That's
talked
exactly
about
what it
yesterday.
is. That's precisely what it is.
Yeah, doesn't mean anything if you don't win anything.
No, but, I mean, that is the answer to your question.
Right. But it amounted to very little is the point.
No doubt about it.
So that's why if I'm the Angels, I'm like, eh.
No, if I'm the Angels, I'm going for it.
You have an impulsive owner. It is what it is. All right, Blake, we got to roll.
Goodbye, Blake.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Love you, buddy.
There he is. Blake Harris. Follow him on Twitter, at Blake H. Harris. Subscribe to his Substack, Blake Harris Substack. And Inside the Ravine is the podcast.
Love that kid.
Cappy, all of a sudden, like Tom Verducci during this segment. Jeez.
No, like, not Tom Verducci, the other guy. What's
Tim
Ken
Kirkchin?
Rosenthal.
Oh.
I'm like Ken Rosenthal all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because, right. I guess.
See? The Hebrew brother.
Correct. Hey, never miss a moment of the show. Sedano and Kap. You can always listen to the podcast on the new ESPN LA app or wherever you find your podcasts. Brought to you by Francis Coppola's Diamond Collection Wines. Coppola Diamond Collection offers the perfect wines to celebrate both big and small occasions all summer long. Enjoy your summer with Diamond Collection Wines. All right, what you need to know. And we'll get back to Sean Payton causing a ruckus about Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett and the Jets coach all getting pissed off. All that's next.
RDCAM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. That's the 90 minutes from wherever you are. Lauda, what do you got?
All right, so I actually have a lot of what you need to know, but this one was on social media a lot today, so I wanted to talk about this. In January, I believe we talked about how Costco wanted to build an apartment complex and then a Costco underneath, right, in LA. I don't know what's happening with that. I can, check
You
it
mean like
out.
a multi-use facility
Yes.
where there's a Costco at the bottom and then apartments up above?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
That was in January. Well, today news broke that they are actually proposing to build the largest Costco in the world in Northwest Fresno. I'm like, there's not a lot to do in Fresno, not to be mean, but they're waiting for it to be finalized. The average size of a warehouse for a Costco is 146,000 feet. This one would be 241,000. So bigger, but not like
It's almost twice as big.
Yeah, you know, it's like it says.
I mean,
it's
240,000 square feet is like a gigantic place.
Yeah, it's the size of 4 football fields. I was
Mm-hmm.
reading, and it says that it'll double, obviously, as a store and e-commerce fulfillment centers.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are not feeling it though in the area.
mean?
They're like that. They're saying that it's too big. That there's gonna have, they're gonna have a lot of traffic issues and think. I mean, Fresno is a quiet town.
Yeah.
So they're like, we don't want all that. So I think that that's the situation right now. It's also said to have 32 gas pumps and a drive-through car wash. I still have not seen a drive-through car wash at
Dude,
Costco.
you got to go use the one that I used.
Yeah, that's too far.
Well, I know it
Where's
is.
that?
It
What
is
city?
It's in it's Camino Capistrano. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
yeah, but bros, wait a second, but broskies, hold on a second. I'm driving north from South LA, and that's where I stopped to get gas, and that's where I stopped to use the $7.99 car wash. That's all.
Yeah, that's a little far from me, Cap. It's a little
Dude, it's
too
far
south.
from me too, girl.
Just a little too south, Just
It's
saying.
too north for me.
But yeah, so Fresno might be having the largest Costco come to their city. They actually built one in Salt Lake City, and it just opened not too long ago. But if anybody has any issues, they can go and see all the proposal online. They have until August 25th to do that, and if they want to oppose to it.
Well, let me tell you something to all my Fresno brothers and sisters out there. Don't be stupid, okay? Let these guys build this place. This place could be awesome. Tons of jobs, number one. Number two, when you think about traffic, I heard you say that this could be a big fulfillment center. That's a perfect spot in the middle of the state to be going north and south and west, and even if you have to go the other direction. So I'm just telling you right now, I always love these people. Everybody protests progress. I had this community that protested this this giant shopping center and apartment complex and business community and so on, and they didn't want it. They didn't want it. It was going to create so much traffic. Well, eventually it passed. They built it. And it was like the greatest thing that ever happened in this town. So all I'm saying is it kind of sounds like a good thing to me. I don't live in Fresno, but it sounds like a good deal to me. Plus, there's a lot of air conditioning, so when it gets hot as hell in Fresno, be like, what do you want to do? I don't know. Let's go to the Costco and walk
Maybe there'll
around.
be 2 food courts.
Hey, that'd be dope. Because the lines out here are too long sometimes.
Get one of those Costco hot dogs.
I can't believe you guys have never seen the Costco car wash. It's so bomb.
I haven't.
Yes, Cappy, I've seen it.
Only Sedano has. I'm going to Google. You know what? I'm going to Google what is the closest Costco car wash around
go.
me, and then I'm going to go.
They don't have a gas station at the Costco near you?
No, they all
Most
have
of them
gas
don't have.
stations.
I was just going to say.
But they don't have a car wash. That
Right,
was
most
news
don't
to
have
me.
the car washes.
Yeah, that was like news to me.
Yeah, the one in Torrance has a car wash.
Dude, the car washes are like 150 yards long, dude. It's like you can't even believe how good. It's so much fun. So much fun to just go into that car wash, watch those bristles, get your windows, spray soap all over you,
Yeah.
wash you down, then dry you off.
I mean, you're still in the car at this point, right?
Yeah, it's so fun.
So the car wash are only available at 7 California locations.
Oh, really? What are they? You know?
Lancaster, Norwalk, Oxnard, Poway, San Juan Capistrano,
That's mine.
Torrance, and Victorville.
Yeah, there's George's
Yeah,
Torrance.
those are those. The
San Juan
closest
Capital.
one is Torrance, really, but that's even two in the South Bay.
Yeah, that's too
Hey.
far for you.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man John who runs the gas station at the San Juan Cap. I'm sorry, bro. I always forget my receipt when I go to the car wash, and you just let me in. Appreciate you, brother.
626. Get
Why
it
is
together.
none of that a shock?
Well, you know what happens, George, is I'm standing there pumping my gas, right?
Right.
And they tell you got to take your receipt.
Right,
But I
yeah.
never take my receipt.
Right. But if you want the car wash, isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Because then you have to use a QR code.
Correct.
But what happens is I'm always thinking to myself, don't forget the receipt. Don't forget the receipt. Don't forget the receipt. Then the pump ends. I take out the gas.
You forget
right?
the receipt.
I put the thing back up. I close my tank. I get in my car. And then I get in line at the car wash. I'm like, damn it, I forgot my receipt. Now, once you're out of the gas station at Costco, there's no going back in. You know, I even thought about jumping out of my car and running to the pump, grabbing the receipt, running right back. You can't do that. So thankfully I got John. He runs the gas station there. He knows me. He knows I'm the guy who forgets my receipt.
John, we're sorry for you. We apologize for Cappy.
That is what you need to know. Brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. So we were talking earlier about Sean Payton taking shots at Nathaniel Hackett and telling the Broncos, particularly Russell Wilson, hey, not your fault. Nathaniel Hackett was a hack. Worst coaching job I've ever seen. So when he was asked about, well, what about now with the Jets? He's like, well, I know everyone's high on them. I don't know. I could see that thing, going south quick. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. So apparently Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, got caught wind of this and had this to say about Sean Payton's remarks.
Well, I'm not going to acknowledge Sean on that. He's been in the league a while. He can say whatever the hell he wants. But as far as what we have going on here, it's I kind of live by saying if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So hate away. It's obviously we're doing something right if you got to talk about us when we don't play you till week 4, and I'm good with it. But the guys in our locker room, they've earned everything that's coming to them. And really excited about what's going on. I think Hackett's doing a phenomenal job here. The coaching staff is doing a phenomenal job, and we're focused on us. I get it. There's a lot of external noise. There's a lot of people who are hating on us. There's a lot of people looking for us to fail. There's a lot of crows pecking at our neck. But all you can do is spread your wings, keep flying high until those crows fall off and suffocate from the inability to breathe. It's a whole other analogy I'll get into later.
My God, that's a lot.
Oh, Jesus.
I liked it. If he would have just cut it off at the beginning, like play the beginning. He said something in the beginning that I thought was funny.
He said, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Right. That's something. I feel like that's something you would say.
Right. And let me tell you something. I live by that, Jack.
Yeah.
Okay? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. That's a head football coach in the NFL saying that. Can you imagine Andy Reid saying, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping?
Right.
Can you imagine Greg Popovich or Bill Belichick saying, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping? That's a young, cool, happening coach.
Yeah, he should have ended it right there.
Yeah, because once he got into the crows pecking at your neck,
yeah, that's too much.
He all of a sudden started to sound like the dude up in Detroit.
Yeah,
coach speak.
Yeah, it's too much. He got caught up.
But I like it, man. I like that Sean Payton is talking, and I like that Salah's firing back, and I like that they're going to play each other in Week 4. But George, you said that Payton was saying, "Hey, it's the worst coaching job in the history of football."
I mean, it's pretty close.
Okay, maybe. But let me just ask everybody a question. Did you guys all read those stories after the season? Hackett's cleared out, and they talked about how Russell Wilson, when he went to the Broncos,
had his own office and all that.
Convinced the ownership, hey, look, this is what I need. Russell Wilson thought of himself as the offensive coordinator last year. So you have a new head coach who's a first-time head coach who's clearly in over his head, and you got a quarterback that thinks he's the offensive coordinator and is breaking down film in the other office. I would tell you this. Sean Payton is doing the right thing. Defend your guys. Tell the world that it wasn't their fault. It was Hackett's fault. That's a smart move. But now let's see you coach these guys, and let's see Russell Wilson come back to the locker room and be a regular teammate, not think that he's bigger and better than everybody else. Corny-ass Russ. I used to love Russell Wilson.
Oh, I could see you totally being into Russell Wilson.
I loved Russell Wilson, and I have now turned into a Russell Wilson is corny guy. I used to think corny over here, cool over here. I was leaning more towards cool. Russell Wilson has gone total cornball on me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just now.
No, but it reached a peak last year when he had that Subway sandwich called the Danger Witch, and Subway got so humiliated by all the negative heat on social media that they canceled Russell Wilson's sandwich. You hear that, George? Canceled the sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they canceled
the cancel culture got to the sandwich, George.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that wasn't the case.
That happened.
Yeah, probably not.
Trust me.
By the way, there's all this chatter. We barely spoke about it yesterday about Colorado going back to the Big 12.
Oh, my God.
So I talked to somebody today.
Talked to Coach Dion?
No.
You didn't talk to Coach Prime?
No.
I talked
to somebody today that knows more about that world than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And they were convinced, now this is completely reckless speculation, they were convinced that Colorado made that move because they knew what the Pac-12 had in their hand as far as a rights fee, like for their new TV deal, and probably looked at it and said, oh, hell no. Like, let's go to the Big 12. We'll get a bigger piece of the pie. We're already in, like, moving to the Pac-12 has been a disaster for us. All our teams stink. We're in debt. We need money. And the Big 12 will provide us with more cash. And I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of conversations about Pac-12 teams, like, just going.
Well, what you just described as Colorado sounds exactly like what UCLA said.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when UCLA took off for the Big Ten, didn't they say, hey, look, it comes down to we're in debt.
Yeah.
You know? And this is going to be a lot more money.
Yeah.
But this is why the Pac-12
But
can't
believe
get a TV deal.
this person when they tell me that the Pac-12 has a pretty good idea of what the rights fee or like the new rights deal will look like.
Yeah.
And they've probably explained that to their member schools, and the member schools are all like,
Right. Sucks. Not what we expected. But hey, guys, sorry, fellas. But without USC and UCLA, Washington and Oregon and Colorado and Utah and Stanford and Cal are not going to be enough to carry you to a multi-$100 million or billion-dollar TV rights deal. Sorry, guys. You lost the 2 LA schools.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes, Jack.
Coming up next, Cappy.
Yeah.
The Rams have spoken about the Matthew Stafford rumors.
Oh, I am so glad we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, we'll do that in a second, but make sure you stay tuned. Saturday edition of Sedano and Cap live from Rams training camp this Saturday, 4 p.m. We'll be joined out there for some reason by Corporate Greg for the entire show, it says here. Aaron Donald, more importantly, will be stopping by. Listen from 4 to 7, Saturday, 710 ESPN. Come out and hang out at UC Irvine if you want to. We'll be there. You can also listen on the all-new ESPN LA app, Jack.
Alan Slewa here.
So Al and I are teaming up for your chance to win an entire office full of lunch from Waba Grill. So you're going to want to be listening all day during the 12 o'clock lunch hour for your cue to call to pick up food for the entire office, courtesy of Waba Grill.
We got some ribeye, we got some chicken, we got some shrimp.
I'm making it sound like I cook them myself. Look at these boom boom tacos.
You can visit wabagrill.com. You can order online. Just go on in, get yourself some of these tacos. Visit your local Waba Grill location. Of course, walk right in. Of course, you can order online for delivery or pickup. Waba Grill, right? Eat smart, be healthy. Boom boom, kaboom.
Good Thursday afternoon, around 6:15 in the Southland. You know what we do at 6:15. Time for the producer Laura rejoin of the day. Hit it, girl. Take it away, Laura.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And since we didn't get to this song by Destiny's Child, Say My Name, I wanted to play it. It was one of the staples in my childhood when I was growing up.
It's a great song.
Say my name, say my name. No one is around you. Say, baby, I love you.
I found out what it really meant later, but
What does it mean?
Crazy.
Oh, shit.
Not like just say my name, please. I like it when you say my name.
no, there's a reason why she's saying that.
The audience wants to know, what does it mean?
Yeah, what does it mean?
It means like, yo, I think you're creeping and you're just not really saying my name. Yes, it is.
What do you mean I'm creeping? What does that mean? I'm creeping
Like
and you're
if
not
you're
saying my
stepping
name.
out, if you're cheating. Like, for example, if I call, like, let's just say I have a boyfriend, whatever, I do, but not my man. And
What's
I
up,
call
boo?
and he's just like, yeah. It's like, why don't you say, hey, babe, hey, Laura, what's up? Like,
So
obviously-
songfacts.com says that this is about a woman who wants her boyfriend to hear her boyfriend speak affectionately to her because she suspects he's in a room with another woman.
Yeah, so he's
Oh, hell
creeping.
no.
Right, like she's calling him. He's with another chick.
Yep.
And she's like, say my name.
Yeah.
Say my name.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I
okay.
said he was creeping. That she thinks he's creeping. He's stepping
Right.
out.
But I thought that the song meant something other than say my name, when in actuality it means say my name.
No, legitimately say her name.
Right.
But there's a reason behind it, Cap. That's what I meant.
No one's
stepping
around
out.
you. Say, baby, I love you. See?
Let me tell you something right now. Oscar De La Hoya, in this documentary that I'm watching, that George convinced me to watch, and I've only watched episode 1 of 2, he talks about how when you live a lie, you have to start lying about everything because you're kind of covering the tracks of the lie.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you just live this lie. And then like every day you're literally covering for one lie to the next lie to the next lie. And it becomes really hard to do, which is why, by the way, as I've told you many times, this brother don't lie.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
That's a lie.
Say my name, Cappy.
That's straight up for real the truth. That's the clean truth, baby.
Did you hear him?
Say my name, say my name.
That is the truth, man. You get caught up in a lie, you start living a lie. Oscar De La Hoya knows. I know. That's why I don't lie. True.
Why the sudden change, Cappy?
That is the MS.
All right, Cappy.
Yeah.
So Sean McVay, do we have audio of this or no?
Yes, we do.
And Matthew Stafford too?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. So, there's been all these rumors swirling about teams trying to get Matthew Stafford, blah, 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 et cetera.
Also rumors that the Rams were actively trying to find somebody to do a dance with.
Allegedly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Rumors.
Sean McVay addressed said rumors today when asked at training camp.
We were all in unanimous agreement that we wanted him to be the quarterback. There were certainly some teams that had reached out, as Kevin and both Les had mentioned, but there was not anything that, I know I can certainly speak for all of us and say we're excited as hell about Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I mean, okay. What
Are
else
you going to
gonna
tell
say?
Sean McVay to say your name?
I mean, I don't really care if he says my name or not, but I mean,
No, you don't get it. Like
no,
like,
like Coach, say my name.
you went
Say
over
my
your head.
name,
Like,
say my
like
name.
you're saying that they were cheating on Matthew Stafford, like they were little dalliances with other quarterbacks potentially, or
So maybe I should tell him to say Matthew's name,
right?
not my name.
I mean, you get the point.
I guess I
Clearly
didn't.
not.
Really, I guess I didn't. Get
No,
the
you
point.
definitely didn't.
Yes, I missed the point. But let me ask you this:
Ask me.
do you believe that 100%?
What were their other options at quarterback?
Well, they didn't really have a whole lot. I mean,
Right, so that's
once
why
Baker
I
Mayfield,
believe. That's why I
left-
believe them. What was the next option? Baker Mayfield?
Well, I just feel like, look, whatever has been said, reported, rumored, whatever the case.
You're
may
only
be.
as good as your options, Cappy, and they didn't have other options.
Okay, well, so you don't want Matthew Stafford, though, coming into training camp, being all upset that every rumor has been, oh, the Rams considered, they thought about, they asked you to take a big pay cut. You said you weren't going to do it. I mean, there just seemed to be some stuff going into training camp. And very truthfully, if you want to win, you have to have a happy quarterback. And Matthew Stafford could theoretically come to camp and be kind of pissed off about the things that have been said about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You okay, George? You all right?
Yeah. I'm just
Am I
tired.
boring you? Am I tired? I mean, listen.
I'm just tired.
It's just a football conversation. That's all.
Jack?
Football. So if I'm the Rams, I don't want Stafford coming in being upset because he is our guy. Because we couldn't find anybody to trade for him. Or nobody made us an offer that was worth trading him. So what do you do if you're the coach and the general manager and the president of football or whatever Kevin Demoff's title is?
Kev.
You go out to the media and you have a united front that says, we were unanimous as an organization in saying that we wanted Matthew Stafford back.
Yeah, I mean, because they weren't going to start Stetson Bennett, your boy.
Well, I guess here's my point.
They
What
just didn't
else
have
are
an
they gonna
option.
say? Right.
Listen, your life is all about options. You know what I mean? You've made decisions based on your options all the time, correct?
I suppose so.
There you go. Then that's it. They didn't have other options than Matthew Stafford.
But even earlier today, I'm trying to remember who it was. That was
Which is
reporting
why
it.
I believe the restructuring one, but not that they were actively trying to shop him.
Yeah, but I think it may have been Schefter who earlier in the day had this
Shefty?
report that was like, hey, the Rams are saying that they never tried to trade Stafford, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, that's what they're telling you because that's what they want you to tell other people. And that's how they want to build the story so that it's out there in the media so that Matthew Stafford doesn't come walking in going, you guys didn't want me. You guys were thinking about trading me. You guys couldn't find the right dance partner. You guys asked me to take less money. You guys have been talking about how old I am, how hurt I am, how bad we're going to be. No, you can't do that. A lot of this is, even what Sean Payton is doing in Denver today, a lot of it is deflecting. It's sending the media in a different direction. It's smart.
Yeah, but could it just be very simple that they knew they didn't have better options, so they asked him to restructure, and teams were calling about him, and it got put out there by Michael Lombardi, of all people, who's always kind of wonky on his information, that they were trying to deal him.
What are you saying? You're saying, is it possible?
Is it possible that they were just trying to restructure him, that teams knew they were trying to restructure him, so maybe some teams called, they were offering him a poo-poo platter for Matthew Stafford, and they're like, no, he's not worth a poo-poo platter. We're going to keep him because we don't have a better option if you're just offering a poo-poo platter.
I mean, listen, poo-poo platter's a nice piece, but throw in some egg foo young and some shrimp fried rice, and we might have ourselves a deal.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
it
could be just as simple as that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and make Michael Lombardi, equate him to Adam Schefter.
No, but Michael, and by the way, Adam Schefter. What is Adam Schefter? I mean, Schefter.
Well, I mean, he's pretty accurate most of the time.
Yeah, because Adam Schefter has phenomenal relationships, and Adam Schefter sends out these beautiful gifts. He sent, and that's how he creates relationships, and that's what people give him stories, and people give him stories the way they give a guy like Shams stories. Hey, we want you to put this out there, so we're giving it to you. So,
but you're I get your skepticism, but what I'm saying is, why can't it just be that? Why can't it be that simple? Why does it have to be more complicated?
I'm always skeptical of all these stories and who puts them out.
I do find your skepticism sometimes strange, only because you have like these different variations of your skepticism. You know what I mean? Like
define.
Well, I mean, in like sometimes like you'll be like, I don't know. It's just the way that you generally like believe in the way the organizations handle things. Can vary based on just the different teams or sports.
My skepticism is mostly about the reporters, because I always feel like the reporters are being utilized as pawns in a game, and that's fine. The reporters don't mind being used as a pawn in the game, because if you're one of the top guys and you can break news, if that's what your game is, and whatever it takes to get that story, and so. I feel like a lot of times, what was the story? Remember a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of NBA free agency when the story that Shams had, that Kyrie Irving called LeBron to talk to LeBron about possibly coming to Dallas. He wanted LeBron to come to Dallas. And it's like,
I don't think it was Shams, but
who was it?
I don't remember right now, but I don't think it was him.
But what I feel like it was, only because I remember us talking about it, and I was thinking, well, look who they gave the story to. Look who's putting out the story that they wanted put out. Kyrie could have chosen anybody to give this story to. He chose him. So that's good news for him. He gets to put that stuff out. Same thing with Schefter. I don't know, you down on Lombardi. I'm not here to preach Lombardi's great. I don't really know Lombardi.
I mean, he gets a lot of things wrong.
I'm just saying that, here's a guy
who's
in the league.
I believe in, and you were right, it was Shams. But I believe in a hit rate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Adam Schefter, I trust. You know why? Because his hit rate is good. Michael Lombardi, I don't trust because his hit rate isn't good.
There's got to be a website for stats on accuracy by reporters. What do you think?
I mean, I'm fairly certain that if we're talking about the NFL, that Schefter would be probably the top of the list, right?
Is Schefter batting .850 and Lombardi's only batting .250?
I mean, I don't think Michael Lombardi's batting, I would say, under the Mendoza.
Okay, gotcha. Well, listen, I'm just saying.
Because I see his name a lot, and it's always like not, like it's generally just not anything tangible.
Well, in this case, whatever he said about Stafford, in my opinion, is what has a team do what I would call damage control.
Sure, I get that, but I don't. I think that's the damage control is more about what's out there. It doesn't mean it's necessarily true. I believe 100% they tried to restructure him. As a matter of fact, I think the team admitted as such. Did they not?
I don't know if they admitted it. I don't.
Didn't Les Snead or somebody or Kevin?
Them off.
Kev.
I think he said no.
Like Mace calls him Kev?
I think he said no, we weren't trying to restructure him or something.
I don't remember. I'd have to look this up. But I feel fairly certain that seems plausible to me. Because, again, what is your other option? Stetson Bennett?
Yeah, but I guess what I'm really saying is that it is true I am skeptical. I never really believe kind of what I read. And I'm just I feel like when a guy like Mike Lombardi, whether he's right or he's wrong, puts it out there, and it gains any virality at all, then...
Well, because everything gains virality these days.
But then an organization has to go into damage control.
Right. Well, that I agree with. They do.
It's a response to a report, whether the report is true or false.
Right. And you know what I would say if I were Sean McVay? Michael Lombardi's kind of a hack, man. Don't worry about that. Don't listen to that crap.
Wow. All right. There you go.
Yeah.
You and Michael Lombardi are going to go at it like
I
you
don't
and
know
Darren
Michael
Rovell.
Lombardi at all. I just know his hit rate isn't good.
So he's a hack.
I mean, that's what I would say if I were McVay.
You're not McVay. You're you.
No. I am me. We may see McVay soon, though. I may,
Well, I'm not going to try and get him on the show on Saturday.
No, don't do
I'm
that.
gonna wait. I'm going to wait until he's scheduled to come on the show.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's coming on, though, on Saturday.
I love me some Sean McVay.
I appreciate you buttering me up, George.
You're welcome.
Very nice.
So.
Are you ready for Big Deal or
I
No
mean,
Deal or
Michael
not?
Lombardi doesn't have a drop like that on this show.
No, he doesn't, but maybe we should get him on.
Nah.
Tell him what a hack he is.
I mean, if you really want me to, sure. I mean,
I would love that.
But I'd like to, before we do that, I'd like to go in and make sure I have exactly how many misses he has, which is
Right.
probably
I mean,
a lot.
Right. I mean, I'd love for you to quantify, because I don't really know. So I'm asking.
Well, I feel fairly certain that he puts out a lot of stuff on his podcast or whatever, and a lot of it tends to not be true.
George, I really don't know. I swear to you, I wish I did. I don't. All I know is that
I'm
Lombardi's
not asking you to know if you. I'm just telling you. I just don't trust the guy when he puts stuff out there.
Totally fine. I'm just saying, there's got to be a database somewhere of Sheffield's
I
batting
don't.
850
I don't think there's
and
like
Lombardi's batting 220.
Yeah, I don't think there's a site. I mean, do you
Well,
want to
that
start
sucks.
one?
That might not be a bad thing. Although, you know what we should do? I should just talk to these guys from Awful Announcing. You know who those guys are? You ever hear that website, awfulannouncing.com?
I've heard of them, yes.
Those guys should do it. Those guys should have a fact-checking department.
Okay.
Is that a good idea?
I mean, if you think so.
I mean, all these political, commentators, they all have fact-checkers. He said this, that's not true. They said that, that's incorrect. Let's find out who the sports media people are that are always right or always wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find out if he belongs in the hack category. Didn't he work in the NFL in a front office somewhere?
He did. He also said that Doug Peterson wasn't a head coach. I'm already looking up his greatest hits.
Right, but think about Bill Polian saying that Lamar Jackson should be moved to wide receiver.
Right, but Bill Polian actually had a real track record of doing something in the NFL, unlike Michael Lombardi.
Well, I mean, I don't know what Michael Lombardi did. I just know he had a job in a front office. I'm
Right,
not
but
saying
Bill
he was great.
Polian ran a bunch of teams that went to Super Bowls and stuff like that. That's a little different. He's allowed to miss occasionally, and he was really. By the way, that happened on the air with us, with me and Key and LZ.
He said that he thought that Lamar Jackson should be a receiver.
100% happened on our morning show.
What a hack!
No, he's not a hack. He's actually a really nice man.
No, he's
and
a very
by the way,
sweetheart,
we
but
went
he's a
back at him then, and we're like, come on. And Key specifically was like a little more nurturing because he knows him for a long time. But we were adamantly I don't know if we buy that. And he's like, whatever. But he's not a hack. He's a guy that's been an NFL personnel person of the year, all that stuff.
Well, I'm not saying he's a hack. I'm just saying that if he got something wrong, he must be a hack.
No, you can miss stuff occasionally. It happens. But when your hit rate is not, this guy, you can go on the internet. I'm looking at it now. There's plenty of stuff about him.
Like what else?
Okay, do you want me to find it somewhere?
Doug Peterson isn't a good head coach.
Right,
Okay.
and the Philly voice saying that he's wrong and dumb. There's an entire Reddit that says, what does everyone think of Michael Lombardi? So, when you got your own Reddit page for that stuff, that's never good
Hey,
either.
dude, that guy stirs crap, man, because the Rams find themselves in a situation where they're having to do damage control based on his report or rumor or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
It's it's one of these guys that just says stuff because he's on these random places and he wants people to listen or read or whatever.
I don't know, but his credential is that he did work in a front office in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm
We
sure.
haven't.
There's listen, there's a guy, I don't remember his name now, but there was a guy on Twitter who used to work as a scout for an NBA team. And I forget what his Twitter name was. But he would go on these crazy wild tangents about players and schemes and things like that. And most people, even people who work in the league, were like, bro, he's just he's off his rocker. That's not how it works anymore or how it used to work or whatever. And it's just that's it. Sometimes that may have meant something at one point. Doesn't necessarily mean something now. You know? Look at you. People evolve. The business evolves. You're like a podcaster.
And a radio host.
And an entrepreneur.
Don't forget about that, buddy. At a big board meeting today.
Jack.
Well, it was not comfortable, I can tell you that.
Yeah. I can't see you. Although I feel we need to break. That's true. We're way over. Laura's
10
great.
minutes ago. I was like, Laura, are you going to tell us to break or not?
I've been yelling break.
Yeah, but even at like 6:27 you weren't, 6:28 you weren't, 6:29, 6:30ish you started getting on us.
She's very upset at you right now. It's now 6:33.
I know. What was she doing 6 minutes ago?
On the phone with the boo.
Oh.
No, she was not.
I was yelling.
At the boo?
Yeah.
If you have ever thought
before playing the slot machine, a player will be able to select their favorite NFL team, which will serve as a theme during that session of whatever, how long you're at the slot machine. You also have a chance to win a $1 million progressive jackpot. Is this NFL slot machine a big deal, no deal, Sedano?
I mean, I guess it's a big deal because, it's kind of a weird scenario when you're suspending guys for gambling, but you're going to have gambling.
Right?
Right? There's just kind of this strange dichotomy you find yourself in.
Doesn't that feel really dirty? Like, okay, for the longest time, the NFL, and by the way, let's not just exclude them. I mean, there's the NFL, the NBA, everybody is now into gambling. So players get suspended for sitting in their car betting on a college football game, but at a team facility. Yet every team can be represented on slot machines in casinos around the country.
Their likeness and everything.
Doesn't that seem like completely ridiculously hypocritical? That you've been so anti-gambling for so long, and now you've been like, hey, that's all out there happening, and everybody's making money off our product. We better bring it in-house so we can make money off the product. It's kind of like weed, right? Like when weed was illegal, the state was like, we can't have everybody out there selling dime bags on the street corners. They're all making the money. We need to tax this stuff. That's what the NFL has done. They've taken gambling in-house. It just feels kind of dirty to me.
All right. Yeah, it's weird. I'm with you.
I wonder if on a slot machine with a football team, instead of like three, like what goes across a slot machine when you win big? Like 3 stars or whatever?
Three helmets of the same team or something?
Right. Is it 3 Rams helmets wins you the big jackpot?
Yeah.
3 little footballs, 3 goalposts.
it's just a strange scenario. Is all I'm saying.
And I sent you guys the video of it too. It kind of looks cool. I mean, looks like a really progressive jackpot, and looks fun.
Okay.
I like slots, so I might play it.
I never play slots ever.
No, I used to play a one slot machine at Aria all the time, and I've sat there. In the 3 times I sat there, 2 times I won at least a couple $100.
Yeah.
Same slot machine.
Oh wow.
In different
What's the game
years.
called? What's the game called?
It was a Wheel of Fortune slot machine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Everyone
of
wins a
course.
Wheel of Fortune. That's why.
Of course, for Sedano, of course, Wheel of Fortune.
It was a Wheel of Fortune slot machine.
This
But
was
they
it was
no
down to
longer
Seacrest and Sedano.
They no longer have that Wheel of Fortune. They have like a different, like a knockoff Wheel of Fortune now, and that slot
Like a
machine
more
area.
like updated one where you can lose your money and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's just not. It is not branded Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys. On a recent appearance of the Kelly Clarkson show, actress Kristen Bell revealed that her 2 daughters, who are 10 and 8, sometimes enjoy drinking non-alcoholic beer. They even like ordering non-alcoholic beer at restaurants
That's
if they
funny.
could. So now, is letting kids drink non-alcoholic beer a big deal or no deal, Cappy?
I'm gonna say it's no deal. It does seem kind of strange, doesn't it? Like you're sitting
beer.
there with your 10-year-old and you're like, hey, I'll have a Heineken. And get this guy over here one of those Heinekens without alcohol in it.
And old duels.
Right. Get him an old duel. And
No,
then
they have
you-
the Heinekens now without
Oh, they do?
alcohol.
Really?
Right.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen
Right.
it.
So then what do? Sit there and cheers with your kid? You're like, hey, let's drink a beer together. People are looking at you at a table. You're like, is that a mom and dad over there with a kid drinking a beer? I mean, it's not an alcoholic drink, but it just tastes like beer. What if somebody likes beer? Taste the beer.
I don't
I
think
say
I
no
love
big
it.
deal.
I don't think. I mean, look, I'm pretty progressive. I just feel like the optics of that are strange to me. So I would also go no deal.
And then, like, how do they like the taste of beer? I don't think I
Right.
like
I
the
don't think
taste of-
anyone actually thinks the
I don't
taste
think
of
anyone
beer
likes
is
the
that
taste
good.
of beer, really.
Let's be real. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I don't know. All these people who love craft beer, they love the taste of it. They talk about it. And I'm like, to me, it's very bitter.
Yeah.
I like a Mexican lager. I like my Coors Light. I'm very easy to please. A domestic light beer, I'm fine. People give me a hard time about it. I'm like, hey, I'll take a Coors Light all day, every day.
I like fruity beer, so don't make
What about every day, all day?
All day, every day.
All right, guys.
You know about that, Funch?
I all day, every day, man. All right, guys. Got one more quick one. According to BetOnline.ag, Victor Wembanyama has the 6th best odds to win Defensive Player of the Year already. Now he's behind guys like Giannis and AD, but he's already ahead of guys like Rudy Gobert, who already won, and Draymond Green
times.
and Joel Embiid.
Right.
So is this already a big deal, no deal, considering he hasn't even played a game yet, Sedano?
I mean, no deal because it's just preseason stuff. He's going to be very good defensively. I don't think there's any question.
But to sort of be ranked ahead of, like,
no,
Gobert,
it's silly.
Draymond,
It's
and
just
Embiid.
It's just people trying to get Vegas sets odds based on whether they think people are going to lay money. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm also on a no deal here. You're trying to inspire people to put money on what is the most viral name going into the next NBA season. So, yeah, I don't really see this as a very big deal at all. And by the way, how could you not be a good shot blocker when you're 8 feet tall?
He did block somebody's Brandon Miller's shot at the 3-point line, and he was way far away. I was like, whoa.
At the 3-point line?
Yeah, he was like at the
During
elbow.
Summer League.
He was at the elbow. Yeah, at Summer League. He was at the elbow. Miller was getting ready to go up for a 3, and he blocked it from there.
Wow.
Like, it was like
It closed out from the free throw line.
go. Not the, well, sort of close enough. Like just short, maybe like a foot away. It was like go gadget arms basically. It was very like impressive.
I mean, Funchy, the ball was 45 feet in the air, and Wemby didn't even jump. Just tipped it with his middle finger. Guy is just gigantic.
He just put his arms up. That's it.
You know what? Obi-Wan says that he
Obi-Wan.
actually likes the taste of Modelo and Pacifico. I would say those beers do have a good taste to them. That's actually true because you know what? They're kind of, to me, they're like lighter and crisper, right? They don't have like to me, I don't love like IPAs and stuff
Well,
like
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I like a Mexican lager, and I like a domestic light beer. I like Coors Light. I like last night, I had a Modelo at Danny K's, you know? I asked for a Pacifico. They were at a Pacifico. I had a Modelo.
See.
Especial.
Modelo?
See. Modelo.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's like añejo.
Añejo.
All right. that is Big Deal or No Deal each and every day at 6:30. Today was more like 6:35. But, whatever. Summertime.
It is summertime. It's kind of like.
I mean, we kind of also do that in the wintertime, too.
I know, right.
Yeah.
It's not really just the summertime.
Me dan canas verdes.
Sí, Mercanas verde.
Do you believe that is it true that stress creates
Canas?
Yeah, canas.
I don't know. I could
Gray
look
hair?
it up, but I don't.
You mean like Surus?
Huh?
Well, you guys said canas.
Yeah.
And I thought you guys were talking about the Yiddish word surus.
I don't know what that word is.
Me neither.
Like
What is the word?
aggravation, like aggravation and stress. You know?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You must be stress-free, pal. I don't see a gray hair
Do
on
you
that
think?
head.
Do you think? Because you diet.
No, to you.
No, you. Que no te ve canas.
Oh,
a ti.
me? Well,
Yeah.
I'm not that stressed. Yeah.
Not that stressed.
I have like one here somewhere on my right side.
Really?
Yeah.
Get it. Pick it out.
No.
You're not supposed to.
If
They
you do
say-
that, allegedly, like
Yeah.
10 grow back, right? That's the old
Yeah.
wives' tale.
Yeah.
Hey, women like the salt and pepper look now, though.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen. I on my if I let my beard grow out, you could see it a little. You can definitely see some gray hairs there, but
I have one on my eyebrow, and I'm like, oh God, I'm old.
on the eyebrow.
I was like, I'm old. It's one, but I've had it since I was.
Yeah,
like,
but
in my
that you
early
can pluck.
20s.
It's just an eyebrow.
Yeah, it's
I know,
easy,
but it's very annoying when you're standing there with the tweezers and you're trying to get that one gray eyebrow out and you can't quite catch it.
And you get like another 10.
Right, and for me, I'm like practically balding in the eyebrows anyway. So if I pull out one or two, it's a big difference. You can see the difference. You get a haircut, yeah.
Coming up next, Cappy, before Dealer's Choice, the Pac-12 has laid down their statement.
Okay.
We'll tell you what that's all about in a second. We'll tell you what they said. Get your tickets now to join Sedano and Kap live from Rams training camp next week on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So not only are we going to be there Saturday, but Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday next week as well at UC Irvine. Get your free tickets now at rams.com/training camp. So there you go. All right, Dealer's Choice and the Pac-12 is mad. We'll tell you why next.
If you're hurt in a car. So Al and I are teaming up for your chance to win an entire office full of lunch from Waba Grill. So you're going to want to be listening all day during the 12 o'clock lunch hour for your cue to call to pick up food for the entire office, courtesy of Waba Grill.
We got some ribeye, we got some chicken, we got some shrimp.
I'm making it sound like I cook them myself. Look at these boom boom tacos.
You can visit wabagrill.com. You can order online. Just go on in, get yourself some of these tacos. Visit your local Waba Grill location. Of course, walk right in. Of course, you can order online for delivery or pickup. Waba Grill, right? Eat smart, be healthy. Boom boom, kaboom.
Have us on Tuesday. Then I texted Bergie, and I said, "Yo, dog, are we at training camp Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday?" And he said, "That's right, sucker." And
July 31st too.
Yes,
and
Monday.
and he said Thursday as well, but I know I'm off next
Well,
Thursday.
I
How
have
about
a
you?
text from him.
Yeah, what does he say?
Here, that from the other day, and he gave me the dates. Hold on. So, I mean, I'll go if we have to, but I'm just saying, like, this is not what he sent me. So let me show. I'm going to read to you what he sent me.
Okay, tell me.
Oh no, he is right. Monday, July 31st. I did have it in there.
So this Monday and Tuesday, we're at Rams training camp.
Yes, sir.
And Thursday.
Sweet.
And Thursday.
Now, George, are you on Thursday?
Yes.
Next week? Okay. Yeah, I'm out next
It's
Wednesday,
Beto
Thursday,
and you,
Friday.
Sedano.
Yeah.
Beto and you at Rams training camp.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
I won't be there the 8th probably. Maybe. We'll see.
The 8th, huh?
Maybe.
We're there too on the 8th. What day is that?
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
The following Tuesday. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So, statement from the Pac-12 conference.
Let me hear it.
The Pac-12 is comprised of world-leading universities and athletic programs who share a commitment to developing the next generation of leaders, supporting student athletes, academics, and athletic excellence, and broad-based athletic success. We remain committed to our shared values and to continue to invest in our student athletes. Today's decision by the University of Colorado has done nothing to disrupt that commitment. We are focused on concluding our media rights deal and securing our continued success and growth. Immediately following the conclusion of our media rights deal, we will embrace expansion opportunities to bring new fans and markets, excitements, etc., and value to the Pac-12.
Boy, that's horrible. That is just one horrendous PR paragraph is what that is right there. Like, there's just no guts to it at all. Like, can't you just talk like human beings? You know, like everything has to be so PR and so legal. Listen, let me say this. Colorado leaving the Pac-12 doesn't mean anything. Colorado's a non-factor. However, what it does mean is that that's another school that has decided that the Pac-12 has probably very limited shelf life. And so
It's pretty sad, man.
Well, it is sad. It actually is sad. And listen, if you're sad about the Pac-12 breaking up and you're a USC or a UCLA fan, don't do anything other than look at your own team. USC and UCLA are the reason that the Pac-12 will ultimately fall off a cliff. They had the foresight to say, let's get out of here because this conference sucks. And the guys who run this conference suck, and they can't figure out how to make us the kind of money that the other conferences are making. So let's get out of here and jump ship, and let's be leaders rather than followers. But if you're sad about it, blame your school, because it is their doing. Right?
Yeah, you're right. What's your dealer's choice, Cappy?
You know, George, this has been an interesting week around America for soccer.
Yes, it has.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
There have been matches all over Southern California in particular in the last week and change.
Right.
And let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you starting to find yourself more interested in soccer? Is it growing for you?
I found myself fairly interested during the World Cup recently, this past winter.
Don't. World Cup is kind of one of those things. It's World
Right.
Cup's kind of like
I don't
the
know.
Olympics.
I have already kind of at least kept an eye on what's happened in soccer. So, I mean, more? I would say, let me see. I guess more because it's more readily available at the moment because it's been on television a lot. So I guess, sure.
So for me, I will say this. I'm interested in the World Cup when the World Cup is on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in the Women's World Cup right now because I'm a Team USA fan, obviously. I love the U.S. Women's National Team and the different iterations and characters and players over the years. I love the story of Messi in Miami and these first two games that he's played. Manchester United is on this national tour. I know they played down in South LA the other day. SoFi Stadium has been hosting a bunch of soccer. George, guess what I'm doing right after the show tonight?
What's that?
I'm going to a soccer game.
Who's playing?
Dortmund. You know who they are?
Borussia Dortmund?
Dortmund.
Yeah, Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, you know them?
Of the Bundesliga.
Correct.
They're playing some minor league soccer team in San Diego.
Yeah, they're playing my friend Landon Donovan's team.
Yeah, it's a minor league soccer team.
Yeah, they play in what's called the USL, which I guess people would call the AAA, compared to Major League Soccer.
Right. Yeah.
And so, the Galaxy, for example, they've got a team that plays MLS soccer, and they've got a team in their club that plays USL soccer, right? So it's, like I said, it's kind of the AAA. No different than the LA Kings, the Anaheim Ducks. They all have these, Western Hockey League or whatever the name of it, AHL.
Yeah.
Okay. So tonight, my boy Landon Donovan, his team, the San Diego Loyal, is hosting Dortmund. Now, I don't really know much about Dortmund, but apparently they were on the verge of winning a championship in their German league.
Yeah, the Bundesliga. Christian Pulisic played there.
And they were playing against this inferior club in the final game of the season, win, and they win the championship. Lose, and whoever else wins the championship. And they wound up losing. So, like, this is all I kind of know about these guys. Now, like, this Ryan Reynolds team, Wrexham, they were just playing
Also
Man
a minor
U.
league team, right?
Yeah, they were playing Man U the other night.
Right, yeah.
But they were only playing Man U's like 21 under team, and all their star players bailed out on the game and flew to Texas to go play in Houston or something. So I feel like, we talked earlier in the year about getting into other sports. So we took a shot one night and we went to a WNBA game. It was fine. I mean, it wasn't something that captured me that I want to run back to.
Yeah.
But I would like to get more into soccer. I still got to get to an LAFC game. That's kind of my key. You
now,
know?
do you know if I don't keep up with the Bundesliga, but I'm guessing they played Bayern Munich, which is the other like big time club in the Bundesliga?
I think Bayern Munich is the team that benefited from Dortmund losing in their final game, and they went on to win the championship as a result.
Got it.
I think.
I don't keep up with the Bundesliga, especially
I know,
now
but
that
you
Pulisic.
sound like you do.
Well, when Pulisic was there, I would watch a little bit because it's on ESPN Plus, actually, the Bundesliga.
So I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to get into a little bit more soccer. And hey, LAFC, that means I'm going to have to break out my LAFC scarf and get to a game soon.
It's messy, huh?
No, I don't even care if it's messy. I don't care if it's messy
You
or
would
not.
totally want it
I
to
just
be
need to
there
go
for
to a
messy.
game. I just need to go to a LAFC
Well,
game.
I know who you should talk to.
Hey, LAFC is welcoming Messi into the bank to take on the champs.
All right, Cappy.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Bronny James and LeBron James. Glad Bronny's home and resting well.
Yes, I agree. Cappy, go enjoy the San Diego Loyal. Why are they the Loyal, though, by the way?
Oh,
Are they
that's a long
loyal
story.
because the Chargers are not? Is that what?
That's exactly why they named them that.
Are you serious?
I swear to you.
That's funny. All right. Great job, Laura and Funchy. Calm down. Calm down, Cappy. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.